Here's your starting five. Welcome to the Final Word podcast, where our hosts will share their unique perspective on social issues, youth sports, and sports in general. And now, let's meet our esteemed panelists. Joe Philon, youth basketball coach and self-proclaimed media guy. Chris Ward, co-founder of the Skills Center and developmental specialist of Skills Center Elite Training. David Lamar, assistant high school coach and coach of Skills Center Elite 2027 travel basketball team. John Arroyo, co-founder of the Skills Center and director of Skills Center Elite Basketball. Andre Lewis, high school basketball coach and the Skills Center High School basketball coordinator. This is the Final Word.
What up, folks? We are gathered here today to speak to you guys about a bunch of various issues. Well, not issues, but just topics. We got a lot.
Hold on, we got issues.
Issues and topics. John is gonna his segment's gonna debut today.
I ain't even seen it.
I think my man Kev did him dirty on his intro.
They lucky I got high confidence.
All right, but we have a
They say hi.
we have a special
It must
guest
be
that
little
we'd
man
like to
shit.
bring on, a true legend. We got Torres is gonna get him on the line now. So and we'll get that rolling. So Chris, you guys went on the road this weekend.
Y'all don't come to me with that shit, man. I might as well go ahead and go to Dave.
Y'all get on the road.
John and I were chilling this week. Yeah, we helped run a tournament.
Y'all had a little shebang, I heard, huh?
It was more bang than shake.
Had a couple games.
Actually, it was more shit than bang. Had me come out the crowd for Dre's team.
No, let's go back to Chris.
Nah, we'll get to Chris, but we're gonna get to our special guest right now. I'm gonna give a quick intro to let you guys know this is true royalty we have here today. This young man was born 93 years ago in Hollis, Oklahoma. He played his college ball at the University of Oklahoma, and he started his college coaching career at Cameron Junior College, which is formerly known as Cameron University in Lawton, Oklahoma, where
L-Town, baby.
where John Arroyo actually played his college ball. What I didn't know until today was he actually was the baseball coach there as well.
Wow.
He was an assistant coach at Kansas University from 60 to 64, and then he was the head coach at Kansas University from 64 to 83, in which he tallied over 348 wins, 2 Final Four appearances. He was the Basketball Weekly Coach of the Year in 78 and the 4-time Big 8 Player of the Year. Nice. He coached 5 All-Americans, and most notably, JoJo White was one of the All-Americans. He coached Celtic great. And he also coached at Oral Roberts, in which he coached our man that we had on a couple weeks ago, Haywood Workman at Oral Roberts. And he worked with countless players on the Drive series, including, and this is one that's probably not known, but I know when he came and recruited me, he told me he worked with Wayman Tisdale on his Drive series, and we all know Wayman Tisdale's story. And he coached overseas for a little bit at Maccabi Tel Aviv, and he was also the athletic director at St. Leo University. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ted Owens, Coach Ted Owens.
Where's the applause? Where's the applause? Where's the applause?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. We're doing well. Glad to have you. How was my intro? Did I miss anything?
No, that's fine. I'm privileged to have coached at some really great players, and I'm just blessed to, at 93, to look back and see what wonderful relationships that I've had in sports.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's what's up. You really touched a lot of lives, and when I called you earlier today and we spoke briefly, you were out there on the golf course still. I know that's one of your pastimes, but I was like, man, coach is still out there on the golf course, man.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with the Fellowship Christian Athletes, and this was their big golf outing today. So we had a lot of fun.
Great. So, Coach, just to jump right into it, like you have an extensive career of coaching, and just from looking at today, like you have an extensive career of coaching, and just from looking at today. I'm sorry, I got a little feedback from one of these phones. But yeah, your extension coaching career. How has the game changed over the years? Like, what are some of the things that you're seeing as far as the way the game's played now?
Well, I've lived long enough to see a lot of changes in the game. When I was, if you can imagine, when I was 8 years old, I went to my older brother's game, and they were still having the center jump. So every time a team scored, then they jumped center at the midcourt. Wow. And when Dr. Naismith invented the game, he didn't even allow for dribbling, and now it's dribble mania. But with the change in the interpretation of how you handle the ball, you can carry the ball now when you drive, and they're very with the Euro step coming into play. I'm not sure anybody absolutely understands the Euro step, but I say it looks like to me like the old track event, a hop, skip, and jump. But I'm not even sure officials understand what is a real Euro step and what is not. But having said that, it's encouraged people to really dribble a ball a lot. Years ago, Dr. Allen, the great coach at Kansas for 38 years, Dr. Allen said a dribble moves one player, but a pass moves all five players. And I still think that there's some truth to that. I would like to see more passing in the game and a little less dribbling, but at the same time, I understand why they're dribbling more. That it's the rules were set to assist the offensive player, and it really makes it tough on the defender today to cover the drive. And then the players. Getting back to what you said, a lot of the rule changes have made a big difference in the game. When I played my last year was in 1951. The lane was only 6 feet wide.
Wow.
So these big guys like George Mikan and other great big guys, that they could post up practically under the basket, and so the emphasis was get the ball inside. The percentages were in inside play, and so you had the Jabars, you had the Elijah Wands, you had all the Shaq and all the great big guys, and because you pumped the ball inside. Then the three-point shot comes, and then the widening of the lane to 12 feet, and it made it tougher on the low post players. And the percentage in basketball then shifts to the three-point shot.
Right.
If you hit half of your three-point shots, that's like it equates to 67% from two-point range. Mm-hmm. So now, but it's opened the game up, and I think that's good, and it's changed the role of a big guy. Several years ago, a guy named Nowitzki came over from Germany, an 18-year-old guy, and saw him play in San Antonio in an All-Star game. but he revolutionized the game. And the Europeans have really changed the game because they don't post their big guys up, and their lane is wider. But so I think nearly all the rules that they've changed have been good for basketball. I, being an outside shooter, would have loved a 3-point shot. However, as good as these athletes are so good today, I'm not sure I could get that 2-hand set shot off anymore. But I could be Joe.
Saying Aaron Hall.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
So, Coach, recruiting. I had the privilege of having you recruit me, to St. Leo, and I always talk about it. These kids always say they get these offers to these colleges, and I always say it's not an offer until the coach comes sits down on your mom's sofa. So I've had quite a few coaches come sit down mom's sofa, but by far, you were the best that I've seen do that in recruiting. What are some of the things that you looked for when you were recruiting a player?
Well, attitude. Obviously, ability. You want good athletes. You want skilled athletes, but you want athletes who play well with their teammates. When you nearly all the players that you get in college were the best players on their high school team, but you want guys who will share the basketball. You want guys who at a huddle or timeout that have good interaction with their coach and teammates. So, there are a lot of things that go into it.
Okay.
Coach, go ahead.
Yes.
This is John Arroyo. Like Joe said in the intro, so one of your first jobs was at Cameron University when it was with JUCO. I played at Cameron University in 1994 to 1998. How much difference was it as a JUCO and compared to as a university, but then also the JUCO game compared to a university 4-year college when you was in Lawton?
Well, there was it's interesting that in junior college you had to rebuild practically every year, and certainly every 2 years. And for a long time in college, you were guaranteed to have players with you for 4 years. And even when I first started coaching at KU, freshmen weren't eligible, so you only had 3 years of eligibility left. Then it grew into the one and done era, where that coaches now have to rebuild every year. And now with the transfer portal, you just don't know what you're going to have from 1 year to the next. Right. I'm not opposed to the transfer portal. As a coach, I wouldn't like it. But from a player standpoint, sometimes coaches encourage you that maybe that your opportunity is going to be better than it was. You get in a situation where your particular talents doesn't fit the style of the coach you're playing for. And so it's good that you can transfer. It's good that you can be immediately eligible. What I'm concerned about, though, is that I don't want a player jumping from one team to the next, and so I'm very much in favor of first transfer being immediately eligible, but not encouraging that second transfer. I've had players that have come to me and have said, Coach, I want to transfer. And I would talk to them about what's best for them and so forth. And if I thought they shouldn't transfer, I would do everything I could to discourage them from doing that. And I've had players come back years later and say, Coach, thank you for not letting me make a mistake. Now, that doesn't happen in every case. But with the transfer portal and with the NIL, it sure leads to the temptation of buying players. That if a youngster has a great year and so forth, that if he could transfer, then I don't think the NCAA was very well prepared for what happened when the courts ruled that you could have the name, image, likeness. When they made that decision that student athletes could do that, the NCAA did put into place the regulations and the guidelines that everybody needed to know, so that it what was legal, what was illegal, and so forth. I'm not even sure that they have the guidelines sufficiently now in place for that. So you have the easy transfer, and you have the temptation of teams colleges outbidding one another for these players, and it's it's pretty much not amateur sports anymore. It's professional. It's professional players playing for colleges for the most part, and but a lot of that is because for years we took advantage of the players. Players were getting room, board, books, and tuition and fees, and the universities and the NCAA, where they were making a lot of money off of this, and you weren't allowed to pay transportation to bring young people to your college, and some of them that would put a terrible hardship on. So I like the fact that they've opened to what you can do, and the aid that you're able to give your players. But at the same time, it's the NIL really, without much guidelines, really opens it up for potential violations.
True. Nice.
Would you rather be coaching? Yeah. Would you rather be coaching nowadays or back in the day when you used to coach? Like, what do you the passion and the love, would it come out more now with the new age of how they play and all the NIL and the different things, or back in the day when, in my opinion, they played more for the love of it?
Well, I would rather have coached back then, but I would rather make the money that they make.
I understand that. Absolutely.
My first year as head coach at Kansas, I made $10,000.
Wow.
Whoa.
In 1964, when I became the head coach at Kansas, I made $10,000. I asked Coach Self one day, I said, Coach, you're a great coach, but are you 500 times better than I was?
Wow, that's great.
But let me just say this: one thing never changes. I go back to reunions with my guys, and we talk on the phone all the time. And the judgment of the final judgment of a coach is if you won the love and respect of your players. If that's as true today as it was back then. Your number one goal is to prepare young people for the challenges that life is going to present to them. So we still have a huge responsibility when you ask a parent to allow you to have that young man or young woman. That's a huge responsibility, and your responsibility is to guide them toward productive and meaningful lives. And I don't money. You can whether money's small or whether it's large or not, that remains your number one job.
I agree with that 100%. All right, Coach, so you've seen everybody. Who is the greatest of all times?
Well, it's scary when you look at Wilt's statistics. When we talk about Michael's, I think 17 records that he still has, or I'm not sure about that number. But the records that Wilt had is unbelievable. I mean, the rebounds that he had. If we used to say that possession of the ball is worth 1 point. In other words, back in the 2-point days, if you scored 50% of the time, then possession of the ball is worth 1 point. You think about, if I get 50 rebounds in a game, I give my team 50 more possessions. So it's mind-boggling when you look at what he's accomplished. Was he the greatest player? Well, he didn't win the kind of championships that Bill Russell or Jabbar or Michael or some of the other players. But maybe he didn't have the talent that they did on their teams. I don't think you can look at number of championships, but people do judge it by that. They judge Michael, LeBron, Shaq, or whoever, Kobe, or they judge them by the number of championships they've won, and that's certainly one of the reasons for judging. But I'm not sure that it's the only, because there's a much different talent level on some teams than there are on the other.
I agree with you 100%. You said the same things I say. Like, Wilt is, to me, the greatest of all times. When people talk about Bill Russell, Bill Russell had, so many more Hall of Famers around him. So, I think he had a better team. But I always say it, you take your favorite player, Wilt will have his stats at halftime, so. But he's, we're on the same page with that. Coach, do you have anything else that you would like to leave us with today? We really appreciate you.
No, I can't tell you how much I love seeing JoJo play. Your JoJo, of course, I had my JoJo White,
right.
but enjoy watching him play. Plays both ends of the court, and I think he's going to have a really good future. And I want to say this: you were a really good player, Joe, and you were playing your best all the way to the end. I remember how well you played in the conference tournament. St. Leo hadn't been to the tournament. You know, you had to finish the top 4 in the conference, and they hadn't been for a number of years. And your last year, you got us there, and you really played well. And so happy that I had a chance to have such a good friendship.
I appreciate it, Coach. You had a great memory. That was like almost 30 years ago, man. But that was the first time Crazy Joe ever came out, because when I fouled out of that game, and I was, I don't know if you remember, I was staring down the ref, and you had to come get me off the court.
Well,
when was he at St. Leo? Coach, when were you at St. Leo?
95 and 99.
Yeah.
So he probably knows.
Oh.
Does he know Schmidt retired?
Oh, yeah. Did you? Dave was saying, did you know that Coach Smith at UT retired?
No.
Yeah, he just retired last week.
Retired 2 weeks ago today.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, those were fun days, and yeah, Joe, I'm glad I had the privilege of coming over and recruiting you. You know, I was in between coaches. I had to replace a coach, and while I was doing that, I got on the road and recruited, and yours was the first stop that I made.
Yeah, I remember. I appreciate you, Coach. I mean, I never understood. Like, I was a very insecure player, but I never understood. Like, I'm like, man, I don't know why these people want me so bad. You know, I just run and jump and just go out here and play, and you know. But I really appreciate you.
Okay. Hey, great talking to you, and thanks for calling me. I always enjoy talking basketball, and particularly to good friends.
We appreciate you coming.
We appreciate you,
All
Coach.
right, appreciate you, Coach.
Okay.
Right.
Have a good day.
You too, Coach.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So that's where Crazy.
93 years
So that's where Crazy Joe came out. Now we got.
That was the
he
first
brought
time.
him
That was
out,
the first
and now-
time they saw him at St. Leo.
And now we got to deal with this motherfucker every day. Appreciate it,
In
Coach.
JUCO, they saw him all the time. In JUCO.
That dude got a good memory, man.
He
That I
does,
was
man.
just about to say,
He
my
does.
man is 93 years
He's
old.
sharp as a tack.
Good memory.
Wow. I can't imagine me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Remember Michael Wood yesterday? I ain't even know them rules. They jumped the ball to center. He said
Every time?
Every
Yeah.
time,
Every time they
somebody
score the
Every time
basketball.
somebody
they
score.
jump the
Yeah,
ball.
I knew that, but I just
How
didn't.
long was the game?
Grip. I was going to ask them, did they stop the clock when that happened?
So before, also used to have to play 3 on offense, 2 on defense.
Well,
Defense
maybe they
couldn't
didn't
cross-
score a lot back then.
Defense couldn't
They
cross half court.
didn't. But
You know what? In Oklahoma, the girls' game was like that.
That was on the women's side.
Yeah, before I
3
moved to
on 2.
Oklahoma, it was like that. Like the girls could not cross half court. It was what
So
he just
3
said.
on 2.
In high school basketball.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they do
Defenders couldn't cross half court.
What year was this?
Probably
56.
60s.
In Oklahoma, it was.
50s,
that? You
60s.
talking about when you moved there? You ain't that old.
Nah, I was there in '92.
They was doing that in 92?
I don't think they
50s,
were,
60s.
the small schools they was doing it.
50s
not,
and
I don't think when I
60s.
was there. But
that's
I
crazy.
remember hearing
Yeah,
about
but
that.
it was 3 on 2. That's how they played.
Chris could have played then.
About that old.
And the crazy part is, like, he's like outlived the
Everybody.
majority of his players. Like, you know, it's from, you know what I mean? So it's like, that has to be tough for him because he has a really close connection, you know, with his with his
But he
players.
didn't confirm that Wilt Chamberlain was.
He did not. Absolutely.
He
Dre.
said Wilt was the GOAT.
No, he
No,
did not.
No, he didn't confirm.
He
just
said you
talked
can't
about it.
argue
He said
the
you can't
fact.
Argue the fact that his stats was.
That means he is the GOAT. Yeah, that's
However you want to see it, Joe.
Yeah,
However you want
he
to see
said
it.
Wilt is the GOAT, bro.
Those words did
Roll
not
the
come out of
tape.
his mouth.
Tori,
Rewind.
Did he say Wilt was the GOAT without saying that Wilt was the GOAT?
I mean, he made the case for it, but he didn't say it.
Thank you very much.
Why would he make the case for it if he didn't mean it?
OJ did it.
OJ did it.
All right, so whose segment is first? Should we should we start with John or should we go to? We gonna go to.
Nah, we
Dave.
gotta go to the source.
We'll go to the source. 'Cause
I don't even know what I'm
the
saying.
source came with receipts today.
Oh, boy.
So go ahead and bring them in there.
This
Source.
bitch
Go
got a
ahead and bring the
cheat sheet.
source in.
Yeah,
She got clip notes.
Oh,
With
look
skill
at
and
it.
guile, it takes to
Clean,
run a
boy. I told you gonna get in trouble about.
Your host for this segment spares no expense to find the hidden messages. In his search to uncover the truth, he exhibits limitless effort to bring you the story no one else can find. David Lamar presents Straight from the Source.
That is the straight. Oh, that's dope.
Straight from the source.
I like that. What you got?
We got time.
He's getting messages now on his phone.
Got time today.
Damn, bro.
You tired.
Let's hear it, source. You're on.
I got a couple things.
Zoom in on them, Taurus.
All right, so we don't need to zoom in.
He got edged up today.
All right, so
Zoom in like they did on Muhammad Ali. Camera on me.
2 weeks ago we announced that Coach Schmidt from UT was retiring.
Hold on, you bringing up old shit?
Well, no,
No, I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
So they're going through the process. Hoop Dirt, Adam Nelson, who breaks a lot of stuff, today, 21 hours ago, said that Link Donner to Tampa chatter picking up heavily. Heard this could be done by the end of the week. Stay tuned. Link was at Florida Southern 2015. They won the national championship. Then Link left, went to Green Bay. Green Bay, they were 92-80. His first season, they went to the tournament. They haven't been in a tournament in a long time. May 17th of 2020, Jeff Goodman, breaking news, Green Bay has parted ways with Link Darner, sources told. Adam Nelson, Hoop Dirt, May 17th, will be curious to find out the, in quotes, real reason for Link Darner reported dismissal at Green Bay. Odd timing to make a move with a guy with a pretty good record. Joey Knight, local here in Tampa Bay Times, had said a couple people that were quoted to interview were Scott Wagers, who's had a pretty good coaching career in the state of Florida. There was other names reported, in various sources. Lou Rowe, who St. Pete guy, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but St. Pete guy, then was at James Madison. Before that, he was the assistant at somewhere in Ohio, I think, and then was recently on the staff at USF. I believe his name still might be on the website at USF, but not sure. Another name that was reported that was Kevin Sutton, which if you guys don't know who Kevin Sutton is, he
Is at Mount Vernon.
Mount Verde, pretty much started Mount Verde.
Yeah.
Then went to University, not North Florida, the one down south. The one in Fort Myers.
Southwest Florida.
Southwest Florida. No.
No.
GCU?
Yes,
Florida Gulf Coast.
Florida Gulf Coast, but has recently been with Kansas State, who had a good run in March Madness. So all things I'm hearing is Link Darner will get the job. I don't think Justin Pecka will get it. There was something 2 hours ago that they said there was more talk about Justin getting it. Obviously, Justin, close friend of mine, I wish he would get it. I guess my question is, Coach Schmidt's, Chris, I'm going to turn this over to you. Coach Schmidt was there for 40 years. Sunshine State Conference, in my opinion, is the number one overall top to bottom hardest D2 conference in the country.
In the country?
In the country.
Yeah.
Hands down.
It's been for years.
Years.
Word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
I am from Florida.
Link was at Florida Southern, good, but it sounds like Kevin Sutton and Lou Rowe aren't even getting an opportunity. we know Tampa is booming. Everybody wants to move here. They got a brand new facility. I'll say it as being the only white guy in the room. I mean, do you not entertain potentially bringing Kevin Sutton in or Lou Rowe? Because everything I'm reading is, they're going to go right with Link Darner. And it's interesting. The Sunshine State Conference, I did some research, has had two black coaches in the history of the conference.
2. And that's been recent. It's been within the last 10 years.
We lost video.
Yeah, that's been within the last 2 years.
So Link's resume speaks for itself. So he's good. He won a national championship. He knows how to recruit. They play a fast pace. My question is, should they have gone somewhere with Florida ties? Kevin Sutton, Lou Rowe, Justin Pekka. Chris, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, it sounds like it's a done deal, and that Link got the job.
Well, so you know how I feel. It's not about it's about bringing people in that can relate to these kids, coaches that will recruit the area, not just the area, but have a relationship in the area, as well as in the state of Florida, have a relationship with the state of Florida. When Coach Smith early on started, he did an awesome job. I would say 50% of his roster would be kids from the state of Florida. Like, he did a really good job. You look at your Fred Lewis, you look at your Brian Williams, Rod Brooks. I mean, he had a crew of kids, DeCarlo DeVoe, Drexel DeVoe.
Junior Hannah.
I mean, he did a great job, Roscoe down there. So he did a great job recruiting the state of Florida.
Tony DeBono, Tamari Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, you can go along with the list of players that they recruited. So you would think that that you would bring someone in that can recruit the area, especially with the area growing, especially with all of these transfer portal kids going in. A lot of kids from the state of Florida are going to the transfer portal. A lot of kids transferring. So you would hope for, now I talked with Dave about it. I don't think University of Tampa's ever had a black head coach on their campus in any sport. Now, I could be wrong, maybe soccer, but I said black head coach in any sport.
Soccer had one.
No, soccer's had Adrian for years.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
So
you're thinking of Leonard Marquise, and then he's the assistant coach. Adrian's been there for.
Yeah, so.
And he's won. I mean, Adrian.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not, but it's a thing of, and then you see the Sunshine State Conference has had one. One was at St. Leo, and I think the other one was down south somewhere, maybe Barry.
Barry.
Those are the only 2 black coaches that the Sunshine State Conference has had in basketball, and that's been within the last 10 years. So I kind of knew that University of Tampa would not entertain having a person of color in there. And you can quote me if I'm wrong. You can say I'm wrong, but I kind of figured they wouldn't have a person of color as a head coach. They haven't had one. So that's something that, if you're a basketball head, you're a basketball person, that's something that you recognize right off grip. And you're going into the homes of these black and brown kids, recruiting these kids. Sometimes you have to be able to have people on the staff that can relate, or have a head coach that can relate to these kids. So, but I kind of felt kind of funny about that. And why would people waste their time and, going out and trying to interview for a position, and they've never had a single black head coach on their campus in any sport. So
Playing devil's advocate, took Dre's job. Mm-hmm. How many black head coaches in the last, 10 years have USF had? 5 years, whatever.
Heath.
Heath.
They was winning.
Yep.
Well, the USF's never won.
Shit.
Yeah, they won a couple years under Heath.
Heath was good. McCollum.
I'm
mean,
just
McCollum
saying,
was there.
Why do you think
Antigua was
it has
there.
to be the opportunity, or is it just their culture that they looking for something else?
No, but just think about the conference. You're talking about in the history of the Sunshine State Conference.
Oh, you're not just talking about University of Tampa.
No, I'm just talking about in general,
gotcha,
the Sunshine
gotcha.
State Conference. I'm not talking about the school in itself.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about in general.
Okay.
You know, then it goes down to you're telling me you have all these sports on campus and you don't have one single.
Yeah, because see, Smith was there for years.
Yeah,
like
he's been there for 40 years.
And then you had shoot, I'm drawing a blank right now. Gordon, Coach Gordon Gibbons.
Yep.
Gibbons was there before him, and he was there for years. So it's like,
So I mean, it's
that's a lot of time tied up.
yeah, it's a lot of time. But I'm talking about in the whole conference.
Right,
in
the whole
Sunshine
conference is
State
crazy.
Conference.
But UT hasn't had many coaches, you know what I'm saying? But in the whole conference, that's crazy.
So with that being said, get my David Babbitt hat on.
Wait, hat? Like the one you wore last night?
Got to give
No,
it back.
don't need that. That's
Okay.
just for the show. For the shows. So was this a planned retirement? Did he know he was going to retire this year, Coach Smith? Or was it something all of a sudden?
I did not know he was. I mean, I'm very close to the situation. I did not know he was retiring this year. So I find it interesting that how quickly it happened. You know, the name Darner in Florida is going to resonate. Like, his resume speaks for itself. He won 6 Sunshine State conferences. They scored 90 points a game. You know, he produces. He obviously, his son, Joe, you know this, I think his son's a junior, going to be a junior this year at Santa Fe, or a senior. And he hasn't coached in the state of Florida the last 9 years. So he's been living in Wisconsin, Green Bay, or Ohio. I'm guessing, and hand to God, I don't know anything. I'm guessing he probably approached the school and was like, hey, I'd be interested. And things started moving quickly. I mean, he's missed his son playing 2 years high school basketball. I couldn't have met. My son hasn't been on the court yet. I would struggle with it. So,
Oh, the kid is in high school?
kid's a junior. He plays on maybe the Adidas team. He plays on a good. Do you know who
So
he plays?
he's moving to Tampa too?
No, the family stayed here. He's been gone. The family's been staying in Florida.
Yeah,
So
but
he's
the
been
kid-
going back and forth.
Lakeland.
The kid goes to Santa Fe Catholic. He plays
In
for
Lakeland.
Coach.
Oh,
Mike.
in Lakeland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the family stayed here, and Coach Darner's been gone
Wow.
for
9 years?
the whole time. So
So-
I'm guessing
Damn.
he called. You know, he's obviously knows the school AD. He's like, hey, I'll come back, and then the last 2 years UT's.
So you saying it's a good move?
That's saying it's a good move. I'll go on the record. I think you need to give Justin a shot. He's not going to get a shot.
So that's why I asked you, was the retirement all of a sudden? Because if someone is planning to retire and you done been there that long, you start preparing your assistants
Right.
to follow you up.
Well, the word is he wasn't Justin doing a lot of recruiting?
I mean, everybody in this room knows that Justin ran the program the last 4 years.
So those are things we know and things we don't know. So there may be something behind the scenes that they may just want a whole
New shift. Yeah.
new regime.
Correct.
Right.
You know, just
Was there a
just
new
get
AD?
the old regime out.
No, AD's been
New
there
president.
forever. No, president's still there too.
Okay.
It'll be
So
so.
just might want to clean house and put a whole new regime in.
I mean, I'm guessing if Link officially gets in the next 2 days, Justin will be gone. I don't think they're going to keep him.
Damn.
I mean, if you're bringing him in, you weren't going to give him the job. You obviously didn't think he was qualified. Corporate America, you'd get rid. I mean, I think you'd probably get rid of him.
Sometimes they keep assistants
Not
Yeah,
assistant.
D2.
if they're
You
familiar.
don't have a
with the
budget
area.
like that at
Yeah.
D2. So you're going to have one strong assistant, and that's it. That's all your budget.
he's gonna
is
bring in
accountable
his-
Because when Coach Owens bought Hanks,
Mike
in,
Hanks.
he
legend.
kept Jeff Cobb, Coach Cobb,
You kept him or cut him?
kept him.
But
He was the head coach?
He was the
He was
assistant.
like Pecker.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
he
Yeah, he was
did all
assistant.
when
So St. Leo had 2 full assistants.
No, they had one.
When Coach Owens came to recruit me, he had Cobb with him, and Cobb was on the road and all that stuff.
Yeah, they only had one. They had one assistant. They had
negotiate their contract
part-time.
now, how much money they want to have.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
coach gets the
part-time
budget.
Probably
He can.
negotiate and get two coaches.
Because when they brought me
Title
on,
IX though, so it's got to match to the girls' side.
well, when they brought me on, I was paid. So what Hanks would take X amount out of his salary, and that was coming to me. So if he's going to pay me $5,000 as an assistant, then he's making $75,000. So he cuts his 75 to 70. That 5 goes to me. Like that's from my understanding.
That's how
I
I
coach
was.
that shit by myself.
Back on the bang.
I was.
I coach that.
Well, that's how I was when I
coach
was
that
at
shit by
I was at
myself.
St. Leo on the women's side. You know, I didn't get a big as the assistant. I just did all the skill development.
When's the last time UT had went far in the conference?
Probably 94.
No.
No, 2000.
No, when was Jordan Davis? No, Jordan Davis. They
Yeah, they had some.
Oh, so that was late 2000.
yeah, Jordan Davis. They went.
When Chikari Freeman and that group was there, they made a run.
Yeah.
We did miss
Jeremy
a good,
Black.
We did miss a good one. Mark Borders. He was tough.
Mark Borders
Mark
was
Borders.
tough. Jeremy
yeah.
Black.
But
Jordan
he was
Davis,
tough. but
2015.
Don Mallory.
They went somewhere.
That's Jeremy Black.
I didn't say they had good players. I said when
No,
they
2000
went
they
somewhere.
won the conference and then lost in the Justin
In the regionals.
regionals. I think that team was good
Okay. When's the last time that conference won nationals?
this year.
This year.
They won nationals.
Nova
Yes.
Southern 33-0.
Oh,
Beat
undefeated.
the ass out of everybody.
There's 37 in those.
37.
And all 5 starters jumped in the transport.
Word.
Oh, they tough, bro.
D1 team.
Wow.
Yeah,
They've won 4 national championships, I think, in the last 10 years. That conference,
And my
National.
second year there,
Like beating Washburn. All that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Washburn and all them.
Listen.
my second year is
bro.
when Nova entered the Sunshine State Conference.
Okay.
Second year.
So when I went my only year at St. Leo, North Florida was in the Sunshine State Conference, and they put them out just because they were a state school.
And they went D1.
It's interesting if
Actually, they went to a Division II conference. They were in a conference with schools in South Carolina. After that, then they went D1.
Yeah, they said, really interesting, if FAU was going to continue to struggle, there was strong movement of moving Nova D1 and booting FAU out. Now FAU's golden.
Right.
But they were going to put Nova in that one. Then the last thing we'll talk about, we're going to change topics.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go to JoJo. No, we won't go to JoJo. Let's go to Jason.
No, go to topic first. Go to topic. what you
let you know if you can touch my kid on the
What you
topic.
talking about?
Okay. Topic is there's rules for a reason when it comes to youth sports, soccer, swimming, basketball, whatever it is.
Baseball.
Baseball. And if you don't want to abide by those rules, then you can go play in a league that doesn't have those rules. So I'm going to read a rule that I don't think is confusing, and if it is confusing, I want you to correct me. 7th grade. An athlete can be no older than 13 on or before August 31st of 2023.
No older than 13?
No older than, I'll read it one more time. An athlete can be no older than 13 on or before August 31st of 2023. So junior's grade this year.
Right.
Grade policy. An athlete who is in 7th grade as of October 1st of 2022, so this school year, and who is no older than 14 on or before August 31st, 2023 is eligible to compete. So let me clarify. If your child is in 7th grade and you reclass them, he can play in that division because he's a 7th grader and is no older than 14 on or before August 31st, 2023.
So he got to be 14 all the way through August 31st.
If he's in
If
7th
he's in
seventh grade.
he got turned.
Correct.
So,
Hold on. One more second.
I was going to ask a question.
You will in 1 second, but hold on. If you have an 8th grader, for an example, and you want him to play in 13U/7th grade, that child cannot turn 14 until September 1st, 2023.
Right.
So
Hold
if you're
on,
gonna
can I turn what?
13 cannot turn 14 until September 1st if he's an 8th grader and wants to play down.
After September. So that means.
Hold on, I'm not done my rant.
Oh, okay.
So hold on.
He's taking over my episode.
If you have a child who is currently 13 and turns 14 between now and August 31st, and he's in 8th grade, he cannot play
Right.
But
He cannot play where?
he can't play. He
7th
can't,
grade.
in 7th grade, the
Seventh
division
grade.
we talked about.
he can't play 7th.
So if Jackson, he's got a December birthday, when January 1st in 2 years, Dad, I'm going to turn 16 this year. I can't give Jackson a license on January 1st because he's not 16. He turns 16 in December. So all you coaches that are playing your damn kids down for a plastic trophy and you're changing your birth dates, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Whoa.
You gotta
He said
zoom in,
bullshit.
Torres. On
Yeah,
that.
zoom in.
Zoom in, Torres. Zoom in.
said-
on that.
he said bullshit.
line.
Zoom
He said
in.
bullshit.
You gotta zoom in on
No, take it off me. He said bullshit. He said bullshit.
I'll repeat it again.
Hold on, wait till Torres zoom in. Then you-
We can
Right, he's coming over to zoom in. Come on, baby. Torres got out his seat.
It was
You
turning
like
like
it,
this.
don't like it, sit
Whoa.
back and
Ooh, got the close up.
And here's the thing.
Ooh.
There's a lot of controversy on Hillsborough County hoops. You know, and I'll say it. Jasrick Johnson and I, a lot of chatter. Jasrick Johnson has a player on his 8th grade team. That child can play in 8th grade because he does not turn 16 until after September 1st. So all you coaches in the area that are saying he's too old, you need to look in the mirror because you're playing kids in 7th grade that are in 8th grade.
Well, they still get beat though, but
And they still get beat.
yeah, I agree with that. But the
I go-
problem. Go ahead.
hold
Go
on.
ahead. He's still.
No, I'm not done.
He's not done.
He ain't done.
Because you're affecting the child, you're affecting the team for no reason. I have no issue with reclassing. I'll play a bunch of reclass teams. I do it all the time, and they'll beat my head in. I went and got my beat head in Memphis. Every kid was eligible. I do not agree and will not play in a tournament if that kid is in 8th grade playing 7th grade, 7th grade playing 6th grade. And I got to give credit to the man to the right, both of them. We had 2 kids in our organization where the dad changed his birth certificate, and we found out and we booted his ass. But I won't play your team if you're going to brag about winning, and you actually don't win either, because you're playing kids in 8th grade that are 7th grade, 6th grade. The rules are here. Anybody can read them. I actually had Harper read them tonight before he left here. It wasn't confusing. But if you want to come play with your team that's eligible, we'll play. But your other ones, I will not play you at all.
Just tell on them. That's all.
No, they.
Check in. Just tell them.
Oh, we did. We did. Oh, and they went and changed their birth certificates.
Hey, this is the thing. Hey, we gotta change his.
I understand.
Okay, what don't you understand?
So who's playing? Who's too old?
This dude here. This dude. Yo.
I really don't know. I'm confused.
Oh, stop it.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm one of the coaches and teams that I don't
You were
care.
just as passionate.
Even if I know I'm a player,
Hey,
I just
people,
think it's.
this is what you get when Dave is acting psycho.
Hey,
I wasn't in the tournament this weekend.
The crazy part about
Oh,
it
you went in
is
it, but you
there
you
is
I
a
was.
few.
Wait. So Dre, you were in the tournament.
Yeah.
As a coach, do you want us to abide by the rules or let it slip?
I'll let them abide by the rules.
Thank you.
But I still want my boys to get their game.
I'm not gonna not play
We
them.
don't get enough practice.
No. They got enough kids. They got a freaking football team of players.
But this the thing. At the end of the day, is the coaches be doing some sneaky shit, which is not sneaky because everybody know. Number one, especially the kids because they're in the same class as you. Like, yo, why are you?
You see what TJ said?
he's
Call out the names. Who doing it?
Yeah, because I'm confused. I want to know. Like,
Yo, but the thing about it is, they're not being sneaky because everybody knows. We got kids, coaches in my class. But at the end of the day, also, the tournaments don't hold them accountable. And that's
The
what needs
doctor
to
got
change.
that.
Dr. Lewis say drop the mic on him.
Yeah. Hey, but at the end of the day, you're trying to cheat, but it doesn't benefit the kid because when the kid plays up, he's not, or quote unquote, when the kid plays the right age, it doesn't help him. It is some BS.
You're pimping kids, man.
Yeah, but the
That's what you're
parents
doing.
know, so it's on the parents too now.
You're pimping kids. What you're doing is teaching kids to be teaching a lie and not be honest.
Right.
So that's what you're developing. That's what you're creating. That's the child
We are
that you're
creating
That's the culture.
We're
Yeah,
creating
that's
a
the
narrative
culture that
of
you're
not
creating.
going and doing it.
But
Yeah,
some
so-
people say, okay, so say the kid is 13 and he's going to be 14 in May, June, whatever it is. And they say, yo, I'm right now currently playing 13U. However, they missed the rule that Dave is saying.
No, they didn't miss the rule.
They
They
didn't
wanted-
read the rule, didn't agree with the rule about you cannot turn 14 when, if you're in the 8th grade. But at the end of the day, you still can't play 7th grade if you are in the 8th grade. And that's the thing. I mean, I played the team last year. It's the same thing he's talking about, the lab. Shit, you motherfuckers scared to say it, I said. But it's not a big deal.
It wasn't just a lab.
But at the end of the day, I played that team last year. The kid was older. I mean, we beat him by 30. So you really hurting the kid. You know what I mean? But
Because you're getting your ass whooped by your little brother.
yeah, but my question is, and I'll jump on his bandwagon too, like why? Why are you doing it? To win a tournament, to win a trophy?
They might not just understand the rule.
But no, they understand it, but the problem is nobody's holding them accountable.
So is it a situation like Mason Odrick was when he played on my 2025 team? He was a 2024 kid by grade, but his mom started him in school early because she didn't want to pay daycare. So she started him early. So he was one of the younger kids on my team,
But he's still in that grade.
but he was in the older grade. So,
If
but he
he's-
played with us in 2025 because by age he's one of the younger
can
kids.
play
on
Back
You
in,
can play
back
13,
in
yeah.
back in the day, they had 13U.
No, they still have 13 years.
Yeah, but 13U rules states that you have to be in that grade.
No, you don't.
No.
Not
got
grade
both.
wise.
No.
You cannot be an 8th grader and be 14 and play 7th grade. You cannot. Read the rule.
Yeah.
No, but what if he's-
you're
what
right.
if he's-
What if he was 13?
What if he's
in the
13?
eighth
He can
grade,
play.
He can play.
He
You
can play.
cannot play 7th grade.
If he's 13
If
in
he can
8th
play
grade,
13,
Read the rule.
If he turns, James Allen has a September birthday.
Correct.
He can play 6th grade basketball. this
Read
year.
the rule.
An athlete can be no older than 12 on or before August 31st, 2023.
Read the rule about the grade.
But that's different. There's two
No,
things.
no, no.
John,
there's two rules
different-
inside of
rules.
one.
Right, but read the whole thing. Don't cut the shit off.
I've read it twice. Okay. An athlete can be no older than 13 on or before August 31st, 2023. That's one rule. There's a period.
Hey, we need
Okay.
that beat button tonight.
The second rule is an athlete who's in 7th grade as of October 1st, 2022, and who is no older than 14.
He has to be in the
No,
7th
there-
grade.
no.
the
There's two
age
different
part.
rules.
There's
There's
the
two
age
rules.
part.
There's two
too.
rules.
It's a two-part rule.
Two different things.
So if you're an 8th
Hey,
grader,
all of line.
That's why Mason was allowed to play with us
Yeah,
because
it's
he
two rules.
was young and age-wise he was young enough, but he was in the higher
For
grade.
13U, an athlete can be no older than 13 on or before August 31st of 2023.
period.
13.
Period.
Right.
Period.
Grade policy.
Grade
But-
policy.
Grade policy.
Right, grade policy starts with the grade.
But John, that's a different
That's
one.
a different
It's a
one.
different rule, bro.
No,
Let me see.
grade policy starts with your grade. That's why it says grade policy.
No, there's
that's why it's
13U and 7th grade are the same thing.
13U and 7th grade.
Right.
Correct.
It's called
Then it goes to the grade policy.
right.
Correct.
But it has the age. You
see
still
where
got to
say
be
13U
Slash
slash
seventh.
3rd grade. So after this 31st,
Look at
put
the-
that slash.
John,
Okay,
James
but
can
look at
play
the
6th
grade.
grade this weekend.
No.
Yes.
Yes, because he's a 6th grader. He's in the 6th grade.
Well, but
He's in the 6th grade.
If he didn't,
If
let's
he
say he
didn't, he
didn't.
could play.
He could not.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Because of
He's
his
lit.
age.
Yes,
No.
He can because of his age.
can
It's
play
like the same
age-wise.
thing that
No.
Mason was
Yes.
doing. Yes, bro.
Yes, he can.
Look,
We
grade.
cleared it through U.S. Amateur for
John,
years
he's-
with Mason, bro.
Look, it says grade policy. What does grade mean?
that's
you just
but
don't
that's
want
slash.
James to play with that.
Nah, he's a 6th grader, so he's playing up.
Okay, forget the grade policy. This
But
is
that's what it says.
No,
No.
but this 13U right here. This 13U.
Right.
Okay, so is he legal? Is he not legal? What's being said right
If
there?
a kid is 13,
If James didn't reclass, let's see.
Read it.
Is he
Well, no,
legal?
his age is still. Yeah. He would play. Yes.
He can play what?
13U.
He could play 12U.
I mean 12U.
He can play 12U now, right?
Yeah.
So that's 13U. He can
So
play.
it's just it goes with
Now
this,
here
John.
comes the grade.
The grade. This
This
is for
is
the.
the
Yeah.
grade positive. He
An
can play
athlete who
13U.
is in the 7th grade. Now who's in the 8th
You
grade?
know, but you know why they're saying that,
13U.
right?
John, there's
Because if he's an older kid and he's in that grade.
Yeah, but you know why they're saying that also because you do have one that say 13U, and do you?
Kendrick, he ain't playing for you, dog.
Hey,
Get
you
off
do
my-
have, but you do have some tournaments where you
You know I
play
got you, dog.
you play grade tournaments.
Yeah.
And you have some.
Yeah, but they
where
don't
you-
do that no more. See,
They're all one.
when Joe was talking about him, they had age based.
No, it was the same
and
thing.
grade.
It
No,
was
no,
just-
no, no.
it was just
But
like
they had two different. In
They had
AAU,
two different
They had
divisions.
two different divisions.
Right, they had two different divisions,
Age
but
and
we
grade.
could play either.
You could play either.
Correct.
We could play either. We could play the
Yeah,
age grade,
grade and age.
We could do either one. Either
So
or
now
with
what they've
Mason.
done.
Now they put it all together.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah.
but
Correct.
it was-
There's no two different
That's
divisions.
correct. That's why they've done 13U in 7th grade together in the period. I was on the phone with them for an hour today. An athlete can be no older than 13. So if you do have a young kid,
So if you're 13 but turn 14 in May, that rule still. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
if you're an 8th grader trying to play in 7th grade,
But why is the grade count now?
because you reclassed.
Yeah.
No, the hell with reclass. You're in the grade no matter
Because
what.
if you have a reclass that's older,
Older, John.
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
one that y'all booted out, that eliminates that.
Yes. That kid that we can't say his name, the kid that we booted out.
Right, but what I'm saying is the
That-
grade shouldn't matter. Whatever you reclass to, you're still.
That's why the grade is in there.
there.
So you
because
can't-
of-
but
because
you
of
can't-
the situation of the kid.
So just think about this. You're telling me you have a 15-year-old in the 7th grade, and that's
We
okay.
did.
I mean,
he,
Joe-
he was under.
But I'm just saying.
he did.
But I'm just saying, right?
He was.
But I'm just
Yes, he
saying.
was.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
Yes, he
is,
was.
yo. But I'm just saying, like, so. But that's no.
So you got
we-
15-year-old
He
in
was
7th grade,
15.
they
yeah,
play 7th grade.
and you got a 16-year-old in 8th
He was
grade.
15 in 7th grade.
But what is the answer?
It's
to
a
this
big
stuff?
He was
difference.
2 years older than our early September birthday. 2 weeks older than our early
He
September.
was 15 in 7th grade.
No, not 7th grade.
Yes,
no
he
way.
was.
Oh wow.
No,
No, I don't think he was 15 in 7th grade.
16 right now.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't 15 in 2nd grade, 7th grade. That'd be
16 right now.
He'll be 17 before he starts his sophomore year of high school.
Crazy. Yeah,
No,
That's
he,
Yes.
he turns after the school starts.
He will be 17 before September 1st,
Right.
which is the school year in 50,
Right.
48 states.
But the school will be already started. So what you're saying is false.
He was not eligible to play in the division
All right.
you wanted him on your team.
So hold on, let me
Next time.
correct David Jackson and his driver's license, because you know the driver's ed teacher. Jackson got to have his permit for 1 year. It doesn't matter if he turns 16.
Yep,
If
don't
he ain't
matter.
had that driver's license
For
that
1 year.
for 1 year, he can't get it.
JoJo is
Ask
May
Tyson.
5th. JoJo is May 5th. His birthday was March 23rd.
Yo,
And that's when he
Ask
got his
Tyson.
permit.
Tyson had to
Got
wait
a whole
so
year,
yeah,
too.
for May 5th.
But we'll go back to that. So Jackson, so in 20, let me do the math on this.
He's just breaking your balls about the driver's license.
Yeah, about the
analogy
driver's
you
license.
made.
Hold on.
So
Now-
the day he get his permit,
So
he
just
got to have it a year.
so January 1st of 2029, New Year's Day,
Right.
Jackson's going to turn 21 that year. So he can go buy beer even though he's going to be 21 that year.
No, he got to turn 21.
Yeah, so that's the same thing with these damn rules that these people are changing. You got teams driving down here from
look, y'all
Tallahassee.
done confused me with the rules.
Hey, y'all gave him the right segment.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all talking about me.
Hey, white man rant. Hey, change his thing to white man rant.
You done with your
And the
segment?
last thing is we had fourth graders.
There's stuffing.
That's
Be
nothing.
careful.
That was stove top.
That stove.
We had fourth graders driving down here from the Panhandle. I don't even know what state they're from.
The fourth grader was driving the car.
It
They
was
were
actually,
They were fourth graders.
Driving the
no,
car.
6th grade, 6th grade.
The other team was fourth graders.
Driving the car.
They weren't driving the car. But damn, they're like, no, we changed the rule. It's just so unfair.
But
to these
I don't look. It is the parents' fault. It's the coach's fault. But it's also the tournament who allows them to do it. There are too many tournaments out there that don't follow the rules, so then they get comfortable with it. Somebody got to step up and do it. Like
Well-
I don't care who we play. I played up last weekend, but at the end of the day, like rules is rules. You know, do right because I think, in my opinion, you're hurting the kid.
And you played up with two kids on a team that reclassed, but they were eligible. I mean, you played two kids that were reclassed on that team, and you beat their ass. But
I did?
yeah,
They were reclassed.
both those kids were reclassed.
Hey, John is not a coach.
He's a sideline person.
I'm an assistant.
Yeah, he's sideline pimp.
Look, we've been playing against older kids for years. I mean, we just laugh about it, and
That's how you gotta
but we
do it.
still lace them up and go.
Yeah, like when we played Texas Summit, they had every kid 6'2" and taller when we played those.
I just think it's funny when they gloat about it.
Yeah.
You know. But then you got the kids lying too.
Well, what Summit is because they're a UA team. If you
Oh, they're legit.
if you're on a circuit, you just can't be 20.
Can't be 20.
you got them twins.
If a kid is 18 and he's in the 8th grade, he can play.
Yeah, he's good too.
What about them twins that play in OT league?
Be out there
OT
killing
league
too.
or whatever.
They're young.
They 20.
They 20 now.
Yeah.
The Thompson twins
Playing
were?
against 16-year-olds. That's what somebody put out there. Like, damn, I ain't know
But
that was that old.
people be saying it because
They
they
went to
were
West
saying
Coast.
when Jermaine Jones was doing all them dunking and having them videos. A grown man go put on there. Yeah, I saw him in South Carolina and he told me he was 17.
They had lying.
Just lying, bitch. Don't make that up about that kid.
Yeah. I feel.
But yeah, I mean
Oh,
that's
yeah.
but so I can't go off of somebody. Yeah, I mean,
I understand where you're coming from.
what
'cause,
the
you know, it's
paperwork say? And I know they get you
Yeah.
some paperwork, but what the paperwork say?
fun. They don't come with paperwork. They come with iPads.
All right, then, you got another source.
No.
But paperwork don't matter nowadays because
you can
Photoshop is a
doctor that
bad
off.
boy.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, we got the last thing we mentioned Bell Creek hiring, right? Did we?
Last time.
Yeah, you did.
Bell Creek, the
The
assistant.
assistant, yeah.
And then then Durant's job is still open. So
Okay.
I think they're going to make a decision within.
Chris Ward applied for that one.
Chris Ward did apply for it.
Chris Ward is not going to apply for that.
Hey, this ain't Hillsborough County. Well, he was Hillsborough County, but shout out to the Tech girls basketball coach. He took over Edgewater boys team, Edgewater boys team.
Nice.
Okay, that's what's up.
Coach Mason.
Now that transfer portal, man, in high school hoops. I don't know when we can start talking about that stuff.
Oh, it's active.
Yeah, we got some prep school. What are those prep schools or charter schools? People transferring to all kind of stuff. So it's gonna be a
They
lot
got
of
a
moves.
That
Transfer
first
portal.
day of summer league is so fun. You get to see kids walk in.
You have a transfer portal in high school?
High school.
Oh, it's active.
We
right
do now. It's the dog wagging its tail. Remember,
Man, that's
everything
awesome.
trickles down. It trickles down.
I'm glad I'm no longer
The
coaching.
trickle down effect. It just trickles down.
Chris, June 4th, get Tampa Prep. We got a game at 6, 7, 8.
Who we bringing in? Let's go. Let's get the Nuggets by Dre going.
Yeah, but I think I got
Every
one.
week, your host explores to the ends of civilization in his quest to bring you
I
something
can't wait.
You ain't been in here so long.
There it is.
his
Yeah, I can't
efforts
wait.
has
I
no
can't wait.
boundaries
You just,
as he searches for the
I
top
can have the
of
coaching. Hey, look.
putting in the
Long you
work
know there's gonna be a whole
to deliver great content that encourages thought, provokes conversation.
I got a segment I did for me. You make the call, man. Jeff shoot on and
Presenting
I won't
Nuggets
be
by
here the
Dre.
following week.
You're taking more vacation than Dre.
And I'll be watching Tyson.
Whoa!
Shuggy Ducky.
Hey, is that Ronnie DeVoe?
that boy look like fish and chips.
Is that Ronnie DeVoe? Is that boy from Bell Biv DeVoe?
MacArthur Clutch, boy, from Let's Do It Again.
That's the nugget right there.
That boy clean,
Who you
baby.
think you is, Harry Belafonte?
Who is you?
Hey,
Who is you?
I was Dre edition.
Is that Velvet?
7 mil.
What is that?
What is the velvet? That boy clean.
That boy clean. That boy good. Good and terrible.
Where the hell you think you going?
What you got?
No.
You look real dumb now.
Going to go pick up the new superintendent.
Because I'm a nasty mother.
What you got? What you got?
Hey man, since it's travel ball season,
Oh my God.
there's a few people that I follow. So go ahead and drop that nugget. Code Red. This when you get Chris involved. That here.
No, don't get me involved. None of this.
Warm up and you throw your hands in the air and you got bad body language because your teammate shot a shot that you thought he
That
made a
ain't
shot,
beginning.
or you think that your teammate not good, right? We can see that watching from the stands, right? I'll scratch your name off on that too, because why?
And I ain't no boy.
This video for whoever need to see it. I'm tired of going to y'all games and seeing y'all take bad shots. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because that's what everybody wants to say. Stop taking shots that you don't work on, right? If you shoot 10 step backs, and you make one, that is not your shot, right? A lot of y'all dudes be taking a lot of bad shots when I go watch you play, and honestly, I just scratch your name off the list. That's getting you not recruited, okay? Be a great teammate. Every time that your teammate make a mistake and you show him up and you throw your hands in the air and you got bad body language because your teammate shot a shot that you thought he made a shot, or you think that your teammate not good, right? We can see that watching from the stands, right? I'll scratch your name off on that too, because why? Why would we take a guy that's showing up his teammates because he think he better than him? You out there making mistakes too. You ain't out there perfect. So don't hold him and criticize another kid because you think that he shouldn't have took that shot. Play extremely hard. Extremely hard. Like play your butt off. If you don't do nothing else, play your butt off, right? Be coachable. We're watching that, right? If your coach tell you something, I'm watching how you respond to your coach. You don't respond well to him, I'm going back with, like, coach, he good, but, man, that dude is real bad with his coaches, right? Your body language is everything. I don't care if y'all down 30 or y'all up 30. Man, your body language need to be great, okay? And then compete. Be a competitor, all right? Hopefully that helps. Be great today.
So we had a couple fellas just come out on this AAU road. Big Joe Nim was out in South Carolina. Chris Nim was up in Louisville, Kentucky. And a lot of y'all got a chance to see a lot of college coaches see your teams play. So with what the guy is demonstrating, you know, is those some of the things that you guys instill into you, hopefully that your players do?
I had a conversation with a kid this weekend. He was, giving some pushback to one of the assistants, and Marshall was in there, and he was in there watching the game, and and I pulled that kid over to the side, and I had that same conversation with him about, he was like, but I didn't say anything, and I was like, well, I don't know if you said anything or not, but looking across the court, body language said enough, so. I was like, you had people in here watching this game and in a small, intimate setting like this, and, that's how you showed up. So he would have got scratched off that list.
It's a lot of kids do like that. And, I talked to John. I know John clown about it when I call him and stuff.
Hold on. When Chris called me, I'd be like, bring, bring.
But
hello? Hey, these mother...
but the thing about it is like, I'm not upset about losing games. I'm really not upset about losing games.
Correct.
I get disappointed in energy and effort. Kids don't play hard. Like, kids have to learn how to play hard. So it's not about winning and losing games, but when you're taking kids, like, I tell kids all the time, I don't want to coach. Like, I didn't come back to coach because I wanted to go out and prove something. I want to be out there on the road chasing basketball. I can stay at home in the gym, and basketball will find me. I'll be there every single day, and I'll be just fine, just doing skill development. So I came out there for them. But it's like when you give me your ass to kiss, and you don't work hard, and you think you're better than what you are, that's when I have an issue. When you're asking me, well, are we playing on the main court? Or are we playing the top teams? Like, when we start having conversations like that, that's when I start having issues, because their energy and effort don't even come close to what they're asking for. Like, if we were to put that shit on the main court, there's nobody that would stay there to watch it.
Be shell shocked.
No, there's nobody that will stay there. That should not be, your energy and effort should not be on there. And I used Tyson several times in the conversations this past weekend. I was like, Tyson got suspended off his team and got taken out of the starting lineup because his coach was watching film, and he's playing college ball. His coach was watching film and saw him coming out of the game, and he suspended him and took. Like, you can't continue to go back and forth with these kids, and the issue is not skill set, it's energy and effort. That's it. Like, that's what bothers me about coaching and getting out there on the circuit. Some of these kids don't deserve the opportunity that they get. They really don't. They really don't deserve it, because they're going to go out there and they get to play 15 games, and they're okay with playing 15 games because they're going to pick and choose when they want to play hard. That's the issue that I have with travel ball.
So session one, you and Seth went 8-0.
That's just because the team's worse than us.
Right. And session two, what'd you guys do?
I think both went 2-2. We went 2-2, and I think he went 1-3. But Seth's team, his energy and effort was amazing, and I think that's just due to the leadership that he had. You know, that team was an amazing. And don't get it twisted. We coached together like we just did the names for the rosters, just so when we put them do the scheduling, nobody gets confused. But that team had better leadership. Dave, Jordan, Stokely, they were some really, really good leaders, and they made everybody better. My team, or the Team Ward, everybody was the same. Everybody wanted to be alpha male, but nobody communicated. Nobody had a high energy, a high motor. Nobody played with a sense of urgency, and that was the issue, and it showed. So the two teams that we beat were the best two teams that we played. Total, since we've been playing, the two teams that we beat were the best two teams. The two teams that we lost to up there, there was no way. There was no way, and it was all based on energy and effort.
Gotcha.
So that's the issue. So that's what pisses me off about coaching. So when you come train, you pay for a service. What you give is what you get. But when you get somebody out there spending thousands and thousands of dollars on the road, time away from home, missing work, doing all these things to accommodate you, driving an hour and a half to Cincinnati to pick up a kid in the middle of the night in a rainstorm, driving back an hour and a half because the flight got delayed or he missed his connection. And it's not the kid's fault, and that's not one of the kids I'm talking about. But when you start doing things for kids like this, you expect them to go out there and just play, and play hard and love it and respect what people have done for them. And they don't. You know, these kids think they're supposed to, and when you say D1, bro, I played D1 ball. That should not come out your mouth. That is a sign of disrespect.
I think there's two things, and my rant was over a while ago, but one, they don't understand the opportunity they have with Chris coaching them, and it's disappointing because of what he's done.
And Seth, too.
And Seth,
man, that dude is awesome, bro.
Seth's good.
Seth's real good. And then the second thing is, I've tried to establish relationship with some of these college coaches. This whole main court, pardon my language tonight, this whole main court bullshit is over with. Because I've had a coach, we can talk about, I've been talking to Yale for a while. The Yale coach went to, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong,
It was in the cut.
it was like Plant's gym.
For real?
It was not one gym.
The school was nice.
The school was nice, but there wasn't 5 courts there. There was 1 court.
Yeah, but we didn't see the main court all weekend.
Didn't see the main
2026 did. 2025 did twice.
But the Yale coach, Sunday morning,
Yeah.
9 a.m. I think,
9:15.
9:15, went over to watch Carter Raines play. Carter has his best game in probably all 8 at 20 and 12. It doesn't matter.
Turned over his left shoulder and everything.
It doesn't matter.
In the gym. It
The
looked
coaches
good,
are going to
too.
come see you if you're on the main court, if you're in court 34, if they want to see you. And these kids that are, I had some kids text me, oh man, we were in court 36. All right, how'd you play?
The real coaches, that's what they're searching for. Yeah. That's how John Moran got found.
Yeah.
Like the real coaches, that's what they search for. They're not going to the main courts. Why? Because everybody in the main court.
Yeah.
They're going to recruit those kids and look for those kids that just want to come
diamond
out
in the
and-
rough.
Yes, they're happy to be inside the building. There was 60 courts there. It was amazing.
That's a big facility.
It was amazing, right? But everybody's worried about being on the main court.
Right.
I'm like, what in the hell is the main court?
John and I
like you weren't on court 1.
Well, y'all had 11 coaches watching y'all's game,
We
right?
had 11 coaches.
Right.
And if I was one of them 11 coaches, I would have never come back to another game.
Right.
Because of the energy and effort.
But
It had
John and I
nothing
were
do with
talking to
skill.
Ed from Southwest Florida Hoops. They were like on court 34. He had 17 coaches. They're going to go watch you where you play.
Yeah.
But then you got to take advantage of the opportunity.
That's right.
And I'm really
Well,
proud of
You can't shit the bed.
can't shit the bed.
But that's the thing too, and it starts at a young age. I mean, the body language, like he was saying, the jealousy of another teammate. You got to build that culture. Tomorrow, I'm having a conversation with 2 of my girls on the girls' team because it doesn't seem that they're clicking, and they're the 2 best players on the team. And no matter what you say, you can't do it by yourself. But when I see, as a director, I go to a game and I see a kid hit a shot and their teammate cheering them on, that's dope. But then when on the flip side, when a kid is wide open and they look them off and then shoot a layup, that's a problem. Or when a kid hits a three and the dude or the girl is open, waving their hand, but this person shoots a good shot and makes it, and that kid like, oh, I was open. So not worried about the team, worried about me.
That's the body language.
Right, and that's the thing that I think is going to hurt people. So a lot of people ask, yo, why didn't that kid get recruited by a bigger school? Or why, there's something in there's a hole in their game, or if you want to say in their body, their character. You know what I'm saying? So, and I try to teach because I go through it with my team, but a lot of people look at my team and be like, man, they play well together. At the end of the day, you ain't got to like the kid, your teammate, but when you on the court, you battling the other side. And when you see that, when you're playing as a jealous player, it shows. You can't hide that.
Oh, and those are real-time coachable moments when you see that. Like just last year with the 2025 group, we pulled off a great win. One of the kids, I had to sit him down. He didn't really score much. We won. Everybody was excited. It's a big win. But if you saw him, you would think we lost the game.
Correct.
Because he didn't have a good game.
Right.
And I called him out. I was like, look, so-and-so, we just won a big game. You walking around here like we lost. Like, you should be celebrating with your teammates right now. I get it. You didn't play well. You know what I'm saying? And he straightened up, and the next day, and I did that in front of his dad too.
Right.
And the next day, and I was like, people in here watching. People watched that. Had the same conversation with him. I mean, what's the first thing that Coach Owens said? He look at attitude, body language. When I asked him, what does he look for in a recruitable player? Those are the first things that he said.
Well, listen.
Agree.
For the last 2 weekends, I know Saturday I shut down, and my wife went off on me. But I shut down because every time you say something to a kid, they have a response.
Right.
Like there's a dispute every single time. And I know I had to say, and I'm not going to say the kid's name, but we were playing, and the kid wasn't that good, but he's going right every single time, going right every single time, going right every single time. And it was a teachable moment.
Right.
So I wasn't using it as a yelling match or to confront him to be kind of negative. I was just saying, hey, look, this kid hasn't gone to his left once. He's been putting his head going to his right. Yeah, but he ain't scoring. I put up my mask. I said, okay. The team jumped in. They said, yeah, because he sucked. If he were a better player, he would score every single time because he's getting to the lane every single time, and he's just missing layups.
Right.
So he came to me after the game, and he was like, yo, what can I do? And all I can say is shut the hell up.
Right.
I ain't say it like that.
That's real.
Shut the fuck up. Like, just listen. Like, I'm teaching you. Like, I'm not yelling. I'm not screaming. I went out there. I was called a time. I said, bro, send him left. Let's see it. Well, he's not scoring.
But you know how hard it is.
You don't want to be coached, bro.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be coachable. But the hardest thing for a kid, a player, I don't care what age it is, 6th grade and above, is to say, okay, I got you, coach. That's it.
But it's hard. These kids' habits are so bad.
Yes.
Till it's hard for them to change like immediately. Because they will eventually get it. It might
But
take
it may
a
be
year,
too late.
2, 3.
It may be too late.
But you know the crew I'm coaching is you can't get it in a year because you don't have that.
Dre, how many times you told your team yesterday, double?
No, you don't. How about this? You just so what would happen is like how it worked is Coach Seth would stand up, I would sit. So whoever's sitting, we talking to the bench. Mm-hmm. I stand up, Coach Seth sit. But we're talking like, man, like while you're on the bench, pay attention to see what they're doing on the floor. Like pay attention to their movements. If you have a kid out there putting their head, listen, we had a kid yesterday, I promise you. This is the left side of the court. This kid didn't want to go left. He dribbled all the way across to the right corner from the left side of the floor, all the way across just because he could not go left. Do you know the kid got mad because we pointed that out? He thought we were going off on him. So,
it's a different era.
I can't, and so those are my things of why I don't want to coach.
I don't like the different era thing.
Because No, because they're not being held accountable.
But John, like your team.
Yeah, the parents.
But I'm going to look at teams. Like, I'll call out. It was fun not to play this week and just watch. The 8th grade Southwest Florida Hoops team, they just play. They don't talk back to their coach. They respect them, their discipline. Your team, I'd say 90% of your kids are bought into what you guys do, and that's why you're playing really well. I would say your team's playing the best you played.
They done been together 9
Yeah,
years.
so that's what I'm
Great.
saying.
Like, but my team doesn't pass. People want to bring it up. Ed came up to me and said, "Who's that skills center team?" Talking about your team.
Yeah.
You take your skills center, your team, and my team. We line them up. Every coach is taking your team over mine because you got 6'2" athletic kids that jump out of the gym. Difference is they're getting better, having bought into you because
And what you got?
Me, I got Jackson. But the difference is now they're slowly buying into you. Yeah. I've had the kids since 6th grade. We were the second team, and we were clearly the second team. The only difference is I and it's fortunate, and I have kids that have bought into my system. They'll play defense. I don't think it's a culture thing. I think they got to believe in the coach and be like, yes, the coach is going to get me there. They believe in you.
They done bought into me. What they don't buy into is the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And how it's played. But
Trey, I think there's two.
But I give them the excuse, and this is my excuse I give them. This is where middle school hurts us.
Correct.
They don't get that repetition consistent, and they go into trainers where they're only teaching individual stuff. Right? So
Go ahead.
But that's the issue.
Damn algorithm.
So
individual.
But once they get to high school, you practice every day,
right.
And they'll get those repetitions.
You're ignorant, boy.
Like that. So they're good in their individual self, but they're not good as a team. And we don't get enough court time. Those 3 hours a week. Ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, I talk to kids about.
But in 3 weeks you'll be. But you guys, you're gonna click.
Yeah, we click in spurts, but they click back.
I think what happened with us with the 2025 group, we went year round, and Saturday morning we get them in the gym, and we had them all in there, having those teachable moments through pickup games, but still having those, teachable moments and
developing relationships.
Yeah, and that made it turnkey. And then the teams practiced on their own through the week. They one practice during the week, but then on Saturday, all 4 teams was in the gym at one time. And I think that we really benefited from that, getting guys to gel and mesh.
And that kid you're talking about, the Doubleman, he got good.
Shout out to look. I told Joe today. Dude. I'd never seen the kid Jadis. I don't know his last name.
Jadis sort of Ronnie. He is.
Kid is pretty damn good. His footwork, and I looked at his footwork.
Holds the ball high.
Yeah, it was very impressive.
He was impressive.
Didn't talk.
He just plays.
Yeah,
but I was very impressed.
I think it's an issue because kids respond and react to every conversation, positive or negative. Yep. If you say something you want them to get on them, they put their head down and start moping.
Right.
Yeah.
If you say something positive to uplift them, they want to have a response or a rebuttal. Right. So Saturday, I promise you, after Saturday morning game, I sat on the bench, and for 3 games I didn't say anything.
Quit again.
And I didn't quit because all the bourbon in Kentucky, in Louisville, I would have gone to every bourbon distillery I could possibly go to if I wanted to quit. The issue was when Seth said, I do not know what else to say to these kids. Like, I have nothing else to say. Like, I'm running out of things to say just because they respond and react to everything. And it's not in a positive manner. And when you're out there trying to get recruited and we're explaining to you, like, this is what we're out here doing, kids just don't understand it. They want everything, but they don't want to be uncomfortable for nothing.
I had one to quit on me last year.
Antoine Lucas had a good statement. He said, film is important also, showing them what you want them to see.
So he said, So we have a parent on our team. I'm very fortunate. He records every game
Yep.
and then breaks it up. And you guys can call me I'm crazy in 8th grade, but after every tournament, I take one game and I break it. I send the players and parents, timestamp it.
It's good.
Hey, go this. And Antoine really appreciate. He said it's really helped his son Nigel kind of understand the difference. So
We're gonna upload the
shout out to Eric Johnson.
Mr.
Appreciate you doing
Mr.
it.
and Mrs. Lamb. They filmed every game. We're gonna put it on our sports engine.
Film is
tomorrow.
the best teacher. Even like, and this is for coaches out there. Like, even if we have platforms like Zoom. Even if you do a Zoom call and you get everybody on a Zoom call and you share your screen, you can have film sessions on a given night through the week and kind of break things down and show them.
And if you don't want to pay for Zoom, you can use Google Meet. So don't have cost doesn't have to be a thing. You can literally use Google. It's free.
Right.
Don't make it just find a way to do it.
I definitely got to do that because even Junior one time, he had a bad game and we happened to have some of the film and he was like that. The next day, it was different.
Right.
Because he saw, oh, damn, why did I go to that corner? But, shout out to Carlos. He just make highlight films.
Hey, they just dropped a nugget about, hey, got any extra dependents that we can use on the taxes? You know how to get around that?
You got another nugget?
No, that was it.
All right. No more nuggets? That's it?
He's so crazy.
All right.
I was messing with Dave.
So let's go to the new segment. Let's go to John Arroyo's segment.
Oh, man, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Hello, podcast fam. Tonight we invite you
That ain't
to enjoy
you,
the
that's-
dialogue of a man who has never been afraid to stir the pot, with the skill born on the neighborhood playground.
Yo mama's so fat. When she goes camping, the bears hide their food.
Ha! Yo mama is so fat when she fell I didn't laugh but the pavement cracked up.
From his early years as a little hijo de boricua to young adulthood, he's known to spit some controversial noise that captures the attention and inflames the passions of others. Unfortunately, not always delivering a positive outcome. Learning from early mistakes, he refined his gift for provocative conversation with a keen wit, engaging smile, and sharp intellect. So come kick it with us as we explore the recesses in the mind of the man some call the mad rapper. Presenting El Mas Controversial.
Mercy, y'all.
Yo, I got to listen to it when I get to the
Drop
house.
John, boy.
He did drop me. That ain't never happened, man. I mean, I got hit, but, he dropped me.
Chris, what are you doing?
I took my earphones out, man. Hey, look, I'm the only dude that don't have a headset. Dang.
Yeah, that was funny, boy.
All right, so what you got, John? What's the topic today?
All right, so
What boy got notes, boy?
yeah, and I put the word and everything because I got prepared, man. I had a couple. I already talked about one last week, but I really want to hit on it. But I hit on it some other day. But let's talk about parents that let's talk about parents that are with an organization or with a team, and it doesn't work out. All right, it just doesn't work out. Whether the kid didn't play a lot, whether the kid wasn't getting, the exposure he wanted, so they decide to leave. And the minute they leave, they want to either talk shit about the organization, talk shit about the coach, instead of just leaving.
I know a little bit about that.
Yeah,
We call
absolutely.
it coochinism.
So my thing is, if you leave, it's your right. Just like you want to come to a team, it's your right to come to a team. My question is, why, A, do you put all the blame on the coach or the organization? That organization was really great for you when you were trying to come on the team. I use my team as an example. Like, all my kids were handpicked. Like Dre said, since the second grade. Like, it wasn't, I didn't know what they were going to become. It was a group of kids that played in the league. They were friends. Let's link it up. And then
He brings those kids.
as years move on, they gelled. They became better. We added little pieces here. But like I always tell parents, we don't just recruit the kids. It's about the parents and the culture. I had one that left last year. No, actually, I dismissed him from last year, and it wasn't the kid's fault. We dismissed him because of the parent. I get an email saying that, granted, I've been working with kids since 1995, and, I got an email. It was funny. talking about, yo, you should never work with kids. My kids should have never played for you. I told my husband you weren't the right coach, whatever. All this stuff, just being mad at me when she should have been checking her husband for being a hoe on the sidelines. Like, you was talking mad junk while I was coaching, and when I heard about it, I had to dismiss you. And I was a man about it. I called you, gave you your walking papers. So that was an issue.
Bow.
But then, but that never happened. But then you go to another team and you still don't play. So on the flip side, then you have another person that and one thing about me, be mindful what you text me. Cause as Chris, I don't delete nothing. I got a whole lot of shit. So all these years you saying, you the type of coach, my son, man, y'all the future, y'all do everything right. I love what you stand for. The minute your kid don't get what you think he should get, we the worst team. John coaches his team for Jaden and Junior only. They not that good. This the funny thing. I saw it on social media talking about if the fast break don't work, they can't win. That's some stupid shit to say. Then he came up to me one time back in Alabama last year talking about why you only allow certain kids to do fast break. Have y'all ever heard of coaches? Yo, stop running. You run. But this is what irritates me. And I don't know if other coaches, I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but it's kind of funny how a team is good when your child is getting something, but then when it's not, now we the worst team in the world. So that to me is a big issue, and I always I laugh about it, and I seen a couple of them this past weekend, and I just once I'm done with you, I'm done with you. Like, I ain't got nothing to say to you, but you steady, them internet thugs be posting some shit, and at the end of the day, like, you can't even hoop. But
I think people allow, like for me, Tyson was always an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that. He's always underdog. I've never fought for my son playing time, ever. Hold my son accountable, get better.
Right.
There's no coach that's going to hold a kid back if your kid is that much better. And I honestly feel that. Tyson used to always come. We had a conversation where we're driving home. I remember bottom side of Ybor, and he's sitting in the car and said, Coach Finland doesn't like me.
I remember that.
So I picked up the phone, I called Finland. And he looked at me, and he was like, what you doing? I said, you just said a grown-ass man don't like a kid.
Right.
We need to have that conversation. Oh, no. No, you just made that statement. No, I've known Coach Finland forever. Coach Finland is probably one of the fairest dudes when it comes to working with kids. I'm being honest. Like, he treats 1 to 13 equally. Like, you're talking about, you'll see him coaching the third string just as hard as he coached the first string. He's been that dude. And so, luckily he didn't answer. I said, well, leave a message. And then he just lost. He's like, but it's just having kids understand, like, coaches do have their favorites. There's not one coach that can say they don't have their favorites.
It's natural.
It's just
I
a
wouldn't
natural
say
thing.
favorites.
I
I'll
would
be
say
their guy.
favorites.
Their
Coaches,
guy.
You're
listen.
better. You're
When they
better.
Coaches,
trust.
No,
no,
you're
listen.
actually
Coaches have their
wired to have a
favorites.
favorite. It's
Listen,
like,
coaches have their favorites. I'm sorry. And that doesn't mean that you're going to treat a kid differently. You can treat every kid fairly, but you're going to like something better that a kid does better than other kids.
Right.
He's going to work harder. You look at Santillo. I never had to drop a play for Santillo.
Right.
Ever. The kid, 24-19, never drawn up one play. Of course Santillo's gonna be a coach's favorite. He's gonna be a favorite more than the kid that turned the ball over, put his head down, and jogged back.
But this is what you got to clear up, though. Did Santillo help you win?
No, my team helped me win.
Did Santillo play a role in helping you? Don't give the political shit.
Yeah,
All right.
that is the
You know what I'm
political.
saying? So at the end of the day, your favorite is not going to be the kid that may not help you win. Understand what I'm saying?
Well, but it's a difference in, so.
It's about winning the game at
So,
the end of the day.
for me, I've always coached, and I tell my kids, you ask any kid to play for me, we're not going to have the best individual players. We're going to have the best team at the end of the year.
Correct.
Best team.
Correct.
But your favorite player might not be
your best
It
player.
might not be your best player. It might be, hey.
But he also going to give you an opportunity to get the win, number one. Number two, he's going to do what you want to do.
Tyreek James was one of my favorite players.
Because he did what you needed him to do.
Yeah, he played hard.
So
he did
what-
the little things
Play
that
hard,
nobody
didn't
wanted to
talk
do.
back, hustle plays.
Right.
you know,
Back,
yeah.
you know, like
Correct.
that. But was he the best player? No.
But
But,
he
he
was
was the most
on the-
efficient.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, parents get this thing about favoritism. It's not favoritism. Like, I told my new coach, I said, bro, you know, Coach Dave, we was in Memphis and
Not me.
yeah, other Coach Dave, Haitian Dave, and I told him we was in Memphis and I said, bro, like, you stop coaching. He was like, what you mean? He says, we were down a lot. I told him we were down a lot. I said, and you played the bench more than the starters. And I agreed with him at some point because he told me, he said, well, bro, they were giving me good energy. They were playing hard. The starters were not. Sometimes you got to make that point. And I said, no doubt. We lost by 20. So and I'm okay with that. However, you got to, with a new team, now figure out. Now, I told him, I said, you got a guy that you believe in. Okay? There's like you say, every coach has their guy that they believe in. I won't think it's their favorite. It's like, yo, I trust you more. So being a coach with some of the players, you may not trust them more. He may not trust some, at that point, might not trust some of the starters.
But it might not be in that moment, though.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, just who's playing well in that moment. That's just like our first game this weekend. I sat 3. I got more energy from the bench players than I did from the starters.
And I don't have a problem with that. I was that energy guy. I wasn't giving you 20. I was that guy that whatever the coach wanted, I was going to do. Whatever the coach needed, I was going to do. If the ball was out of bounds, I'm throwing my body. But 75% of the time was that winning games. So at the end of the day, as a player, I'm like, damn, I'm doing everything I can. So it's twofold, I think. You got to make sure that the coaches don't want to lose, number one. Coaches don't want to lose. But you want to give credit to people that are hustling and doing the right thing. So it's a slippery slope on that. But when parents think that it's favoritism, it ain't no favoritism. You don't go all the way to Kentucky to lose a game, Chris. You don't go all the way to Kentucky to say, yo, these kids are playing hard. Huh?
I'm a little different. So I'll play everybody.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Stop that shit, bro.
What
was your rotation at Hillsborough?
It's
He talking
different.
about travel
I'm talking
ball.
about travel ball.
What was your rotation in travel ball when you had 15 players?
No, I'm just saying, man, I played.
This still my segment, dog.
Why you
I'm
bringing
just
up
saying.
old stuff?
No, but I'm just saying, this weekend we did
He
go.
been bringing up
And I was
old stuff. He
playing.
had that stuff on his
Hey,
chest
you
for a year.
watched it on film, didn't you?
Yeah.
I play everybody.
Because but it's different now because you're at live period and everybody's there to get
Exactly.
exposure.
You know,
Absolutely.
you just asked
but
me.
that
and I
ain't
said-
always been your MO.
No, when I was at Hillsborough, we were talking about high school basketball. My job
It's
was to
different. You
win.
got to win.
Right.
Now it's just
It's travel ball.
yeah.
No, travel ball in high school is different than travel ball.
Exactly.
Correct. Because you
So we
showcase
went there for
Correct.
a showcase. Like we
Correct.
get there to get kids exposure.
Right.
Like if we went 0-15 and these kids competed, every kid's may get an opportunity to look.
I
just
agree with
based
you on that.
on,
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so but they have to go and compete. So nobody's gonna. We didn't go up there for no trophies.
I'm
We
not
went up
gonna
to
make you
compete.
make yourself look bad. You ain't ready to play this game. No.
But the drop off, the drop off in talent ain't really that much either, though. So it's
Right.
It's really not. I mean, and just think about this. If you got kids, your starters that are playing horrible basketball, giving you horrible energy, you're gonna lose anyway.
right.
So I'd rather lose by 20 because we're gonna lose by 20 anyway, with kids that are at least hustling and working their ass off
I
and
agree.
making the game enjoyable
Yeah,
for me
I
on
agree.
that sideline.
Yeah,
And
I
easy
mean-
to coach.
And the coaches don't care about the score per se unless they're looking at situation stuff. Unless if the game is close, okay, I want to see how he responds in this situation, in this setting, and or see what type of shots he takes or plays he makes. But for the most part, on that level, the coaches are trying to see this kid play, look at his habits, his body language, all that stuff. They're
Right.
looking at.
No, I agree with you on that. The funny thing is, let's flip it to into my little segment. So in Memphis, same thing happened. The first game, Martin Bros, y'all heard of them? Martin Bros. Pretty good organization. We knocked them off. All right, we knocked them off in Memphis. Dave was surprised. The gym was surprised. We knocked them off. So the rotation at that time, I think Dave probably played 7, 8, 6. Damn. I'm not the head coach. Played 6 players.
But you won.
Hey, you gonna own it.
Right. But listen, we won. And Martin Bros is a pretty good team. What I tell parents when they come to travel ball, you may not play in every game, but you will play in every tournament. There's a difference. Like, we may win by 20. You like that shit? We may win by 20. You may get beat by 20.
How was that for?
Or it's gonna be a tight game.
What if you go the whole weekend and every game is tight?
Well, them bitches might not play. But this is my thing. At that tournament, the kid that he quit in Memphis. The first game he didn't play. I didn't know he didn't play. Well, no, I knew he played. But he quit, but still showed up to every other game we was at. But didn't come to the bench. I didn't know he quit until the third game. Like, as a parent, I would not do that.
So he came and watched. He watched the game.
Yeah. He watched every game we played
in the crowd.
Yeah. In the crowd.
You didn't realize he went on your bench?
No, I called the team out and said, "Yo, where's that?" He's like, he quit, and then he walked in and watched the game, and I'm like, and Sunday he was there, Saturday night he was there, and I'm like,
he said he paid his money. I'm finna come see that
boy,
shit.
That's crazy. Not the parents.
They bought that band, boy. Hey, that's $65 for that band.
They would have been, what was the guy yelling? The barbecue nachos?
Yeah, barbecue nachos. But I mean, parents are different. And I think where the kids act is what the parents tell them at home. Hands down.
All right, so can we talk about the Under Armour circuit? Under Armour circuit, Rice.
No, handle that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying.
Go
ahead.
wait till you get out your.
Are you done, though, right?
Yeah,
are you done? Are you done or are you finished?
I'm finished.
You done with this rant?
Hey, that was sponsored by Slits Malt Liquor Bull.
Hell no, Corona, bitch.
Just so if you go to Joe Filon on YouTube and go to my channel and hit my pages, you see all the Skill Center kids up there from a few years ago. Just hit that first video, Taurus. Just let them play. It should play in order. Yeah,
that was
once best. Just. Oh. All right, so we had our first 2 sessions of, and I just got the videos playing as I talked through some of this of the kids from both teams. This is JT Tipton's video, who's shooting it really, really well. Over a 1,000-point scorer already as a freshman in high school over at LeCanto. Not a Hillsborough County kid, but he can really shoot it. Damn. But so this is the first, we've done the hoop scene stuff. We've done some other stuff, and this is our first stint. This is the second. These are highlights from the second session. What I saw so far, I mean, it's really good. We're a UA Rise team, but we played.
You sure? A real UA Rise? Some people don't say y'all.
Yeah, I know. Some people said we not really on the circuit or whatever. But it's been really good. The first session was in Arizona. The first session was in Arizona, which was it was really good. First time in Arizona, really good trip.
Oh my God.
Good competition. All of the games were under one roof for the most part. They were all of the coaches, just like the EYBL, the Adidas, and the others. You had every major college represented at that tournament to come and watch the kids. Now, they don't pay a whole lot of attention to the freshmen and sophomores. They mostly look at the rising seniors and the unsigned seniors. But coaches were still getting out and coming to see kids. Like we had Texas A&M come and watch the 2026 team for one game, and it was Jason Montgomery. This is a Hillsborough County kid over at Wharton. I didn't get to catch many games of the 2025 team, but so their clips are a lot shorter. But
just so you know, I got a call from a coach today who gave JoJo some really, really good props. High mid-major.
Good. Appreciate it.
He gave JoJo some really good props right before I came in.
And I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I'm gonna say what people watching. I'm gonna say, man, I don't see In a regular gym just like they might as well stay in Tampa.
Well, see, yeah, so
stuff back there.
these I mean, you see the Under Armour branded. So these games right here were these were off-site games in Rock Hill, South Carolina. All of these schools, when we go out of and this is JoJo Filon from Blake High School. Obviously, these are his highlights. When we go out of state and we go to these schools, they have like auxiliary gyms. Like these schools actually have multiple gyms. Right. So this right here isn't even their main gym. This is an auxiliary gym. That's the main. This is like the main gym right here. And that team they're playing, we're a UA Rise team. This is actually a UAA team.
Oh, that's the shoe team.
That's the shoe team. That's the and because like JoJo has been identified as one of the top on the circuit in 2026. Right. That kid number 10 is the one that they have at the top, and so they set it up so him and JoJo can play against each other in this game, and so they got an opportunity to play against the UAA team. Now it's at an off-site gym. It wasn't at the main hub, but still they were able to, and that's an auxiliary gym, so they were still able to get that type of exposure. So, I mean, it's so far it's been really good. Like the 2025 team played in front of Marshall. Yale came to see Carter. That game against that UAA team, there were actually 3 coaches.
Damn.
There were actually 3 coaches come over and watch that game. I don't know. I didn't go and look at what their shirt said or where they were from, but they were coaches like you were saying. These look like regular gyms,
right?
Mm-hmm. But when we were on the radar and stuff like that, and we were at these regular gyms like this, those coaches weren't coming. Like they were coaches in these gyms watching freshman and sophomore teams. So, so far so good. It's been really good. Now,
Scott said you lost that game.
We did by 1.
He said you better not. He said you better not. We'll fight.
Had him scared, Scott. You know you had him scared, baby.
He said you better not say we lost.
We lost the game by 1 on paper, but they messed up with the score. And when Scott went back and they reviewed the whole game, we actually won that game by 1. This is Landon from Lando Lakes. He plays over at Lando Lakes, not a Hillsborough County kid, but a really good player on our 2025 team. He had showed some really good flashes this weekend. Played really well in Arizona, but he's a good talent. About 6'4", nice wing, good mid-range game. He can really play. Torres, I lost my video. There we go.
So what's next for you guys?
Up next for 2026, they're going to a tournament that's called. This is a kid from Cape Coral. He's see, this is Arizona. So you see the gym we playing in now, Dre. So talk that shit now. Talk that shit now. Coaches everywhere in there, and they had a gym like this. With the 2025 team did play in, but
that place is awesome.
we're 2026, so we got kind of booted to some of the outside gyms for Rock Hill. But the next tournament will be in the main. All the games will be in a place like this.
And where is that going to be?
That's going to be in
Lake Point. It's called Rise Georgia now, but it used to be Lake Point.
Well, we went.
It's Georgia, right?
Yeah.
North Georgia.
Right past Atlanta. It used to be
It's
Lake
nice.
Point where the baseball fields are.
They got hotels, baseball field. They got it all right there.
Yeah, it's really nice.
This kid is he's a really talented kid, man. He gets he gets a little bit flashy, a little bit like he hangs on to the ball a little too long, but his court vision is very good. He can really score it, man.
Did he just do that?
He sure did.
Yeah, I mean he as I say, he get a little flashy, but he's very talented, man. Very skilled, long arms. Sometimes he gambles defensively, but when he stays and he locks in, he's actually a really good defender, man. He's from like Fort Myers, Cape Coral, but he's a very talented player, man. Very talented. He was with the Each One Teach One Rebels. I think they put him on their second team, so he ended up leaving, coming over to us.
I do know y'all done put in my opinion Tampa on the map. You know, I've gotten some calls.
It's Cantrell Martin from Strawberry Crest.
They definitely excited.
And we've said it for 2 weeks. If you guys got film and other guys, highlights, send them to us.
See that gym, Dre? How you like that gym? That's a good one too, huh?
Hey man, I'm just going with the naysayers gonna say. I still don't see no Under Armour store.
It's everywhere, bro. You ain't been looking.
Come on, Claude.
I see a team with some Nike shoes.
You definitely don't see that.
Yeah, you definitely don't see that.
They pull them off the court. You can't even wear white Nike flip flops.
Yeah,
You see that Under Armour back there in Brandon? You can't even wear Nike flip flops in there. No Nike nothing. They pull you up out of there.
All right,
But he didn't.
I'm convinced.
He sold me.
But Chris, they're
So you said what's
oh,
up?
look, Dre, right there.
Bam.
Oh,
Bam.
there we go. Woo.
Bam.
There it is.
Whoop, there it is.
That's the main courts back there that people were talking about. When you get on the main court, that game was on the main. See, the main court's way back there.
Okay, all right. Y'all official now. I approve it.
Now this is Jason Johnson right here from Winthrop,
This
man.
kid is good.
He's been playing really well, man. Like he's a junkyard dog, man. That's the JYD right there. Take care of all the dirty work, bro. Great teammate, man. Great locker room guy. Real positive. Great parents.
He's good.
You know, like parents, real cool people. You know, it's a good group, man. But he's really playing well. I would think some coaches would give him a look, you know, the way he's been working and playing and taking charges, sticking his nose in there. I mean, he's been doing really well, man.
2026 is going to a big tournament in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I keep trying to get there, but the video keeps switching. They're going to a tournament called Battle of the Brands. So it has only EYBL teams, Adidas,
Southern
3
Jam
SSB.
is the official name. So people
Southern Jam, yeah, but it's nicknamed Battle.
I don't
of
want
the
people to
Brands.
think we're making up tournaments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. All right, so you know they have the Adidas top Adidas teams, 3SB. I'm sure team loaded and all of them will be there, and then they have the UAA teams in there from Under Armour. I'm sure the top New Balance teams. And even
Source had to go deep for this one.
Yep. So Dave worked to hook us up. So the 2026 team will be playing in that as a UA Rise team. Probably the only one. I'm pretty sure a few high profile
Williams.
high profile
Williams.
Under Armour teams. Yep,
DC.
Boo Williams.
What?
DC.
DC. I mean, it's loaded.
Here's JT Tipton again this is in Arizona.
And when is this tournament?
This is
18th, 19th of May.
Yeah. No, that was a different JT Tipton.
So they got this weekend off, next weekend off, and then they go.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yep.
And then the 2025s and 2026s are going to ESPN to try to qualify for USAB. Because they took a live period. There's only 3 live periods.
Well, I want to keep that one secret, man. I don't want nobody because if we win,
It's already posted on the website.
But people don't know about it.
Yeah.
They don't know.
We win that, man. We go to Memphis. Is it too late? Nobody else can get in?
I mean, it's on the website that they emailed.
Yeah, I know that, but you might well put an ad in the paper. You're going to tell everybody.
That's the source, baby.
They don't know where to
trying
find
to keep
it.
that secret,
They don't know where
man.
to find it.
Trying to keep that secret, man. We trying to get this USA bid
It's
in,
not a
man.
secret.
They don't know. Nobody knows about that tournament.
Trust me.
They know now because you telling everybody.
Don't give him your cornbread.
Damn.
They know.
Ain't your corn. Don't give him your cornbread.
They know.
No, they don't know.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They email you every day, 3 times a day.
You might get that email.
I ain't know about it.
Right. Nobody know about that. They talking.
Man,
I'm
look,
telling you, JT shooting it well,
I'm
boy.
not part of the secret
Rhythm stuck his
society.
leg out on that. Pulled that old Reggie Miller right there. Could have hurt himself.
I mean, they do that crap now. I foul the hell out of him. He do that.
Yeah, he definitely stuck his leg out.
Oh, yeah, I
You
was-
see
All right,
that
so,
thing on Carter Knox? I think he averaged like 32 in his 8 EYBL games. He was tearing it up.
Yep,
And Finch was doing good too.
Yep, he's playing well. Finch is playing well. We got a lot of guys making noise. Even some of the independent guys, I see them doing well. I see Jarvis Pope went for 42 in the game.
Damn.
Jamel's doing well out there.
Caleb.
Yep, Caleb.
Who's he playing with?
He's Austin Rivers. Yeah, I saw them in the
Caleb's tough.
Tip-Off Classic in Atlanta. That's kind of like a battle.
Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Well,
yeah.
both Caleb. Caleb Williams and Caleb Sanders.
is with one family, I think.
Yeah.
And okay, so the 2026 team is 7-1 on the circuit. They lost by 1 to the UAA team. And 2025 is 3-7.
3-6.
Played 10 games. I don't do public math.
They did 5 and 4.
I ain't put
Thought he did 5 and 5.
Private man.
1-2-1. I could be wrong, but they played 1 Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday.
Gonna question the source.
They're 3-6.
Average Joe.
No, they did 2-1.
I'll buy you dinner next week if I'm wrong.
I got them at 3-7.
I got 3 and 6.
Make sure you have that stove top stuff.
Yeah, I want that stove top there. We eat dressing where I'm from. And it's made with cornbread.
Day old bread. Day old bread.
All right, but the 2025 team, they should be 9-1 or whatever. The Arkansas team is the only team that just beat them. Other than that, they came down to it came down to a couple possessions right at the end, just closing out games. But I really think like they're one player away from being really, really good. And it's just unfortunate because I don't think in Tampa we have. I guess it's safe to say that Tampa has one like shoe circuit team, right?
There's only one on the West Coast.
In Tampa?
In Tampa.
Yeah. There's only one.
And I get it. It's UA Rise, but is there anybody else out of Tampa that's
No,
because Breakdown is Orlando.
with Breakdown's independent?
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And
I'll say
they
it.
weren't out of.
But it's unfortunate that I don't think we have. I don't think the city has embraced what the skill center has been able to present and put out there, and we don't have our, some of our top echelon guys went outside of the county and went to other teams. But if you had on that 2025 team, if you had a Joshua Lewis, a Caleb Sanders, a Caleb Williams, just think about.
They on them NIL deals over there, man.
But I'm just saying, it's just, to me, it's just you can kind of sit back because our team, they're 3. What's the record?
3-6.
3-6. Okay, so the record is 3-6, but it's not a true representation of.
They're 3 and 6. They have a positive point
play.
differential.
Right, because
They've lost 6 games by. We just did it. They lost 6 games by 40 points total, and 1 game they lost by 22.
Right.
So if you would do that, I don't know if they use in math, Doctor Felita, but the mean and median, if you take out that number, it would even be even more balanced.
Right.
Yo, but it's crazy what you just said. You just named 3 players. Pretty damn good.
Pretty good.
Josh, Caleb,
and
Caleb.
The 2 Calebs.
Wow.
And
Damn.
Dave don't threw me off with the damn all this shit. I got ADD. I can't even remember what the hell I was about to say. But it's still it's a
Unfortunate.
Right. It's unfortunate just to sit back and think of just think what it could have been, and not saying that our team is bad. Our team is out there in dog fights. They're fighting and they're playing well and looking good. It's just a play here or there. We didn't get to his video, but Jacob Douglas is playing really, really well. AJ's playing well. London, our guys are Carter Raines. Obviously, we said, was out there watching, played really well. Our guys are getting out there, and they're battling against these other cities that have all of their top guys on their one team. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they're pulling, even a lot of them are pulling from neighboring states. So it's not just, so this is their cream of the, they get, and our boys are right there with them. They definitely should be 8-1.
But it's the process.
It's a process.
Because the proof is in the pudding.
It's a process.
Just continue to do what you do.
Right.
And everything else will come in.
If you build it, it'll come.
Right. Now the situation, I don't know about one family because I haven't really seen them, but the situation that Caleb's in is a good one. He's playing in front of coaches. He's getting, the situation that Josh was
offers.
in. Right.
Yeah.
And the situation that Josh
real
was
offers.
in. Oh, yeah,
right.
for sure. And the situation that Josh was in is a good situation. He has coaches watching and this and that and other. I'm just talking about for my own selfish purposes.
But Tampa's own selfish purpose.
Right. And they're also, and our boys are playing in front of coaches. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just like with the EYBL, they have every major college represented at those tournaments. So does Adidas. So does Under Armour. EYBL might have more head coaches, but the assistants are at some of the other places. Now, if you look at the situation, like you look at JoJo, for example, he's not the most, skilled kid offensively where he's going to be scoring a lot of points, this and that and the other. The Knight Riders came after him super heavy. Rebels have come after JoJo super heavy. If he's on one of those teams, he's out there to play defense and rebound.
Right.
If he's on the EYBL, he's a small fish in a big pond. Him being on the Under Armour circuit, he has the ball in his hands. He's with a group of guys that play the game the right way. He's not with guys that's shooting the ball every time. Like I've been, some of my boys that I grew up with or played college ball with, their kids are playing on teams, and they tell me, man, they just rebound and throw the ball to this kid, and he takes, all the shot. He's with a group of guys that play the game the right way. They don't care who there's a leading scorer every game, different leading scorer every game. They just make the right play the right way, but everybody's getting seen, everybody's getting recognized. And it's not just catered around one person. I did watch SOH is their 2024 team.
17s.
Yyep.
Yeah.
They have two.
Say something about TJ team. 'Cause they went undefeated.
Right.
I was
Okay,
just
I'm getting
about
there.
to talk about
We
TJ
get there.
team.
Yep, I'm getting there. Because I was going to tell them we was finna come try to steal Kyle Levy, but they doing so well. We ain't going to disrupt that, TJ. But going back, they have two kids on that team that pretty much shoot the ball every time. Really, really good Spanish kid that was at Burke's camp that time a few years ago. Really good. Though he don't miss. And then they got the kid that left the Night Riders and came over there. Those two guys take about 70% of the shots. Everybody else is out there to rebound and get the ball to them and play defense. Now, situations when those two guys were on the bench, he shot a bird at me. Situation when those two guys were on the bench.
TJ, I got your back, homeboy.
Situation when those two guys were on the bench, those other kids can really play. They're really, really good too. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how those teams are structured. Like JoJo's not in a situation like that. I mean, he got a lot of attention in Arizona, made a lot of noise where they was able to play against a UAA team. And
he can play, he's going to get it.
And he's playing in front of the assistant. The assistant coaches do most of the recruiting anyway.
Yes, they do.
They bring the attention to the head coach, and the head coach makes the end decision.
It's
He
coming.
can play. He can play.
Yeah.
He can play in a plastic bag.
So it's just something to think about.
But this the thing too. Like me and TJ talked. We talked earlier today, and like he was geek. And he's in the Hoop Scene Association, ranked 10th in the nation, number 1 in Florida right now. And the crazy part, when we were building that team, there's a lot of people was like, nah, we good. It's not quote unquote the UA Rise team or whatever. But quiet as it's kept, they're making some noise.
Yep.
You got Kai Levy. In my opinion, I think he's averaging a double-double. And to me, like we always call Tyson, that's a process kid.
Yep.
Because, boy, back in the day, we was like, boy, if you don't calm that little crazy joker down. But looking at his team, I mean, the kid Jaden, 6'7", I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Armwood kid.
Didn't nobody think he was – but TJ put him in the right situation. They got the kid from – is it LeCanto? The kid that –
JT Quinn?
Yep.
Is that what we're talking about?
Quinn and –
No, the big boy.
The big one and Quinn.
Yeah, and Quinn. Oh, yeah. And to be honest with you, they're playing this whole thing. They're playing without TJ, little TJ. He's still hurt.
Vernon's scoring a lot.
Vernon can score
He's
his
a
butt
scorer.
off.
Like he's like a scorer.
Yeah. So
and he plays defense, but
that's what I'm saying. I mean, TJ geeked, and so it's like
who's the one kid they've been posting? I don't know who that one is, but he's been scoring a lot of.
Jaden. No. Oh no, you talking about
I got you, TJ.
The guard from Lakeland, you talking about? The guard from Lakeland?
No, he played for Williams when they won the middle school championship.
Oh, yeah. His sister used to play for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tough, too.
Dada.
They got some dogs on that team, bro.
Yeah. Playing well, man.
Dogs.
So the season, and the thing about it is they're a circuit team as well. It's just not Under Armour circuit, but it's a hoop scene circuit.
Yep.
You keep winning. You play tougher team. It gets tougher each week. That's how they do it. So you go 4-0 one weekend. And then they put you up against the other guys that went 4-0 that first weekend. If you go 8-0, now you're 8-0 or 7-1.
Right.
They're gonna put you with the rest of the group and it
but
gets
this
tougher.
is what I told TJ in the beginning. I'm like, look, Rashid's team last year, 2025 hoops, he did well in that.
Well, they doing well now too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I was demonstrating for TJ. I'm like, look, don't think about Rise, don't think about that. Like, let's focus on this HSA. And do your thing, and then Rashid too. Rashid's team is doing well.
What's their record right now?
Source. I know. Old boy dunked on that 6'8" kid.
Yeah, I think they're TJ Sheep. Don't get mad at me. I think they're 5-3.
And they should be like 5-1. Real talk.
Okay.
No, you mean 7-1? Don't.
I mean, yeah, 7-1.
Yeah, public
bad,
man.
bro.
That's public
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
6-2. Okay, I
He said
thought.
6-2.
So I thought they only lost 2 games.
But they shouldn't have lost those games.
Right, but 6-2. That's good. So it's gonna get tougher for them because they've only lost 1 game.
He said
in
Atlanta
seven.
will be. I thought the Chief today. He said Atlanta's will be tough. They're gonna be.
Because remember, we moved up like that because we played up in 2024
We don't need
last
tough.
year,
We're
and we
6-2. We
kept
don't need
moving up in 2024,
Don't need tough at all.
which is why I'm
I forgot. We get to watch him live in like 6 weeks.
But this the thing, like
Might
even
not be, though.
not just the UA Rise team that maybe we could have had some more people, but also these teams right here. Because once the UA Rise teams were made up, they felt that all right, we're not gonna go to hoop scene or whatever. Something.
Right.
But imagine how much better those 2 teams could have been too. Even though they still doing work, so we proud of them. And this ain't no show for STE.
Well, it is.
We just
We
want
paid for it.
But you know what I mean. We're not just promoting that. We just want to make sure that people understand that it is a process. Yeah, look at that. So
There you go, TG.
And they still playing without, in my opinion, one of the engines of that team. Because you really got 3 engines on that team, bro. You got Conyers. You got, is it Dede or Dada? And then you got TJ. But they say JT Quinn is a dog, too.
Yeah. And then you got the enforcer, Kyle Levy in there, man.
Yep.
Which we need him
all the
on.
difference down there.
Shout out to Sheik.
We need
TJ.
Kyle Levy on that other team, man.
You got to fight
Where's
TJ for that.
Tampa? Who put Tampa?
They put Tampa.
Tampa.
Who said that? They sure did.
Tampa for
We so thug. They put LA in that bitch. That's all that is.
Tampa.
But guys, we say it. If you got clips on your guys or things we don't see, post them. I think Joe's been doing a good job posting them in the group.
Yeah, and then that goes for all organizations. It's not just
no, for sure.
Man, post like I mean, the majority of what I'm gonna do is gonna be Skill Center 2025 and 2026 because that's where I am. Right. But if I'm at a tournament and I see, some Hillsborough County teams, Hillsborough County kids playing, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna grab some video.
But that's 2024 video. That's that BS.
Nah, because you don't send nothing.
Remember
nothing.
the first tournament I did get y'all.
Yo, but shout out to TJ, man. It remind me of when, man, if you don't want your coach being in all the videos, all the pictures, man, come to SCE. Look at TJ, not even in the picture. I like that, boy. Shout out to TJ. About the kids, though. I'm just
shut
messing.
this thing down.
Yeah, we went a little long, so but I did want to
John's going on the road this week.
talk about that. So what you got up next?
We going to Future Circuit Under Armour. We got Alabama first session, Dave and I,
Future
and
gonna
our
be there?
girls.
And 6th grade.
Future gonna be
Yeah,
there?
6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and our girls 8th grade. So we'll probably see some good competition over there, so it should be good.
Now, before y'all go to the future, I just want to let you know I believe the children are the future.
Teach them well.
I want you to teach them well.
And
Dave, let them lead the way.
That boy can sing.
That boy good. That boy good.
Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
Actual chocolate.
Dave Lamar, I want you to give them a sense of pride to make it easier.
Hey, crazy part. He don't know what song you talking
Let the
about.
children's laughter remind us how it used to be.
There you lost.
He lost it.
Hey, I
It
remember.
decided long ago. Never to walk in anyone's shadow. Yeah, I don't really know what she said on this part, but if I fail, if I succeed, I think she say something like that. They can't take away my dignity.
My dignity.
And they say this a
Because the greatest. Love of all.
Inside of me. Yeah,
That is the final word.
Sexual chocolate.
Hey, I'm going to Malaga, Spain. I'm going to see my dude in Malaga,
Yeah,
Spain.
shout out to Tyson Ward.
Going to
Final
Malaga,
four.
Spain, baby.
Process
Gonna leave
kid,
Seth,
baby.
gonna leave Seth by herself?
Yes, I am. Yes,
When's
I
Tyson's
am.
game?
I should have took Aaron Hall.
May 12th, May 12th, May 14th. Champions League Final Four.
Good luck,
Right now,
Ty-Dog.
right now they're number one in the BBL.
Take us out of there,
They
Tori.
just knocked off Alba Berlin.
Take us out to the.
One of these guys
Shout out
say
to
something.
Tyson.
When it comes to
Hot
sports
mic,
talk,
yeah,
they
mic
keep
still
it
hot.
live without the jive. And now, here's your starting 5. Welcome to the Final Word podcast, where our hosts will share their unique perspective on social issues, youth sports, and sports in general. And now, let's meet our esteemed panelists. Joe Philon, youth basketball coach and self-proclaimed media guy. Chris Ward, co-founder of the Skills Center and developmental specialist of Skills Center Elite Training. David Lamar, assistant high school coach and coach of Skills Center Elite 2027 travel basketball team. John Arroyo, co-founder of the Skills Center and director of Skills Center Elite Basketball. Andre Lewis, high school basketball coach and the Skills Center High School basketball coordinator. This is the final word.